Hey, 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 and welcome back. Good to see you all back at the cafe. Welcome back, guys. Great to be here again, guys, tonight at the late show. Let's talk Idaho. I've had so many people messaging me, emailing me. Are you going to talk about Idaho? So, we're going to talk about Idaho. We're going to talk about new information, the possibility, the two cars, the craziness with the two cars, and all the other craziness going on. We're just going to talk about it all. So come on in, grab a seat, grab a cup of joe, whatever it is you want to drink, and please, let's do this thing, guys. Come on down, and here we go. Here we go. All right, all right, all right. All right. Great to see you. And welcome back to the cafe, guys. Good evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Come on in, grab a seat, grab some coffee, tea, whatever it may be, guys. Please come in here, have a conversation with me. I'm sure I'll be joined by some other awesome peeps from this community. I really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Like I said, guys, let's talk Idaho. Any new info that's been coming out, the two cars, there are two cars, and all the craziness. And this stupid new picture that they put out. I'm so tired of these things. Let's just talk about it all. So come on in, guys. Get comfortable. We won't be here too long, but we'll be here for a minute. That's for sure. I almost feel like we need to have this conversation on a regular basis so I can sleep every night. You know what I'm saying? Come on in. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button when you come through that door. Please and thank you. And share this out and let everybody know what we're doing, guys. It's important that we hit that button so we get this in the algorithm. And after the show, during the show, tomorrow, whatever, leave me a comment in the comment section, guys. I love seeing your comments, and I do try to get back with you all on them all. Come on in, guys, please, if you can. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see who we got in here. Miss Jana is in the house. Justice for Crystal McCrory Jones. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, Miss Jana. Wonderful to see you in the house, dear. Thank you for being here. Mikey's in the house again. Great to see you. Thank you to the Blue Crew for joining us tonight. We couldn't do without them, folks. Niners girl, welcome back. Good to see you, or welcome. Good to see you if you've never been here before. I swear I've seen your name though. Again, everybody, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this out if you have not yet. Hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss nothing we do here. Please and thank you. Miss Tandy's in the house. Seahawks fan. Good to see you. Again, great to have you all here. Eddie, my boy Eddie, what's happening, brother? One Maiden Nut. Good to see you. Let's see. Moonlit Baby, welcome back. Great to see you tonight. Thrive Off Grid, wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us. Mountain Mama, welcome back to you. Doc, great to see you tonight. Oh, we got some white in here, guys. We're going to have to get some of these memberships rolling again and get some of these people green. Angel D from Down Under, welcome back to you. Welcome back, Angel D. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Oh, love it. I love my Aussies. I do. Miss Paula, welcome back. Great to see you tonight. DKM, been a minute. Great to see you. Good evening. Come on in. You like that, Angel? Oh, you're not late, Paula. We just started. Welcome. Yes, I know. I agree. Hey, that's right. That's right. Tanya Jordan, good evening. Thank you for joining us. RC3's in the house. Good to see you tonight. That's right, Eddie. We love our Aussies and our UKers and our South Africans and all the other peeps that join us, but we do. I love my Aussies. I always wanted to live in Australia till I saw the spiders. That changed my mind, but I still love Australia. The reef, all of it is beautiful over there. I am me, and you are you. It's great to see you tonight, Amy. Thank you for joining us. Come on in, guys, and hit that button on your way through the door, please, and thank you. Appreciate you very much. And our favorite Canadians, of course. Of course. We love our Canadians, too. We can spread our love wide and far, folks. Miss Sherry's in the house. Speaking of UK, looks like Scott Metalhead in the house. Good to see you, brother. Welcome back. Let me see. Did I miss anybody up here? Miller time 66. It's been a minute. Great to see you tonight. Good. Let's try that again. Great to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Who else do we have here? I guess I got to go all the way up to the top now. If I can stay up there. Crystal, I hope everything is going well for you and everything going on. I'm sorry, Jana. I hope everything's going well for you and everything going on with Crystal's case. Sorry. I think about it often, and I hope things are starting to pan out for you a little bit more and you're getting a little bit more help. I really do hope so. Miss Tandy, wonderful to see you here tonight. I hope Miss Tandy's off for the weekend now. Gets to take one of our amazing teachers in the house there, Miss Tandy. Love what they do. We love our teachers. That's a fact. There's Miss Tanya, or Tanya. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Good evening to you and welcome. I see some new faces in here. I've noticed that the numbers of the subscriber numbers have gone up. So welcome to all the new community members. I don't like to say subscribers, family or community members, because that's what you guys are to us is our community or our family. So I don't believe in the word subscriber. It is great to have you all here. All the newer people, please make sure that they are being welcomed with open arms as we do with everybody and treat them like a family because that's what we do. Sherry, the Borg. Welcome back, Borg. Miss Raquel, oh well, great to see you tonight. She's here. She announced her arrival. Let's see. Miss Jules in the house. Hey, happy Friday to you. Welcome to all the meatballs. Great to see you. 8 more days, and we got Tandy full time. I can't wait for that one. Yay. Come on in. 45 beautiful peeps in the house. 28 likes, guys. Let's see if we can make that match. Come on now. Yes, wonderful to see you, Jules. I hope you're having a great Friday. Miller time. It's been a while. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let me drop that down, guys. Just give it I know it gets old hearing my voice, but give us a few minutes. I just want to wait because I'm sure there's going to be some more people jumping in here. Everybody takes time to get in here. So, Eddie, great to see you again. As always, our boy Eddie. We love Eddie. Eddie's amazing. Great notes and so smart. Wish Jesse was up. Jesse's probably burnt out after last night. Yes, hate line. The hate line episode is tonight. All right, Jules. All right. Yeah, I couldn't play it anyway because they'd strike it immediately. I tried once before and they just hacked away at that thing. So we'll see how long we're in here. It's a 2-hour episode, so it's supposed to run probably for our time from about 5 minutes from now to 11. Yes, welcome to the hate line party. I'll watch it later and we'll probably talk about it tomorrow. See what other bullshit they put in there. Not to mention this, if they were going to talk about this stupid new picture. I'm so irritated with this, you guys. They put a new picture of him and said, there, see it? He was going to do it again. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The man takes a picture wearing a black hoodie. Mama Bear said it looked like a raincoat because he's got his hood on and he's not smiling. So therefore, he's going to go do it again. Well, first off, you'd have to do it in the first place to do it again. But this is so, it's one of the most immature things I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. You can judge that somebody's going to go out and kill somebody because they took a picture just as much as this picture when he's doing this. That means he did it. Grow up, people. That's so it's insane, you guys. It's insane. I like Keith Morrison too. I'll be honest with you, I do. I like the way he explains things. I've always loved Dateline, of course, but I do like Keith Morrison. I got to give him that. Plus, somebody told me that was Matthew Perry from Friends. That was his stepdad, I heard. Is that true? Anybody that knows? Thrive off grid. You can thrive in here tonight. Thank you for joining us. Right, Eddie. It's beyond. It's absurd. It's ridiculous, and they think we're all dumb. All these people that aren't guilters. Absolutely. Heather, there's our Heather. Welcome back, Miss Heather. I was out earlier today, saw a lady pushing a stroller. She was clad in black. Oh my God. You almost called 911. I bet she stole that kid. I bet you're right, Heather. This is what the world's come to, you guys. It's insane. Oh, because she had her hood up. Yeah. She had her hood up. Tomboy just flew in with her bird. Welcome. The bird. The bird is the word. I'm glad Heather's in the house tonight, just in case. Between Heather and Eddie, we'll have all the info we need. Thank you. Miss Eve, A22, great to see you tonight. Sherry, wonderful to have you here, dear. And everybody in here, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just giving everybody heads up because I had some people say earlier they don't get him often. So if you hit that little dollar sign down at the bottom in the square in the circle and go into that, once it opens up, it'll give you the option to be able to receive gifts or get gifting. Memberships are gifted in here quite often. So if you are wanting to get one, open that up so you can receive gifts, and then you'll be able to get it when somebody gets it. So make sure that's open though for you. So otherwise you won't. He is Matthew Perry stuff. Okay. I seen you, Tomboy. I just said you flew in on your bird. That chat on JLR's live. Oh, you're all right, Thrive. No worries. Jesse stargazing. Hey. Good to see you, Miss Jessie. Welcome back. It's been a while. We've missed you. My door's always open. You guys know that. It's great to have you guys back. I've seen a lot of people that have come back after a while. It's great to see your faces. I really appreciate you guys very much. We have missed you truly. Pumpkin Dawn's in the house. Welcome, Pumpkin. Good to see you. We were talking about having answers. Okay. Let's see. Now DT is saying he's got audio from 11:12. From 4:08 to 4:18. Isn't the timestamp from that video 4:07? This is crazy. I am me. Well, maybe we'll have to review that too. Ray, welcome, Ray Knightley. Good to see you tonight. This is insane. It is probably the most insane case ever, and it's probably gonna be, to be honest with you. RC3, pure speculation on Dateline, and the girl that gave him her number, and she said he was creepy, just wanted her 15 minutes of fame. Agreed. Well, there was that other girl, though, that said that the universe, that they got She got his number, and the universe just didn't allow it. They were busy, so she never got to get back with him. So she seemed interested. There was nothing creepy about that. She didn't mention that at all. So, hey, Wisdom speaks in the house. Thank you for joining us, Wisdom. Great to see you. We got a little bit of a class reunion here. Miss Jessie's in the house. Phantom Grower, good to see you. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. GTA 6 trailer 2. What are we talking about, Phantom? Maybe this is a leak from the defense team for a reason we don't know yet. Good point. Good point. Yes, guys, please check out if you have a chance. Our awesome and amazing Wisdom Speaks. Go check out her channel, please, and thank you, guys. She does amazing stuff over there for the missing indigenous and the missing in general, guys. She's just an amazing, amazing soul. Has such a big heart and wants to do nothing but help to find the missing, guys. So please click her link up here in the chat right here. Jump on over, subscribe if you have not yet checked it out. Hit the like button, hit that notification bell. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. Donna Salamander back in the house. Good to see you, Donna. Thank you for joining us again. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Tomboy says, I said from day one that whomever gets arrested and charged with this crime will never receive a fair. And that's a fact, folks. I've been saying that too. I just was talking to some of my mods a little bit earlier. And the only way I think that this kid could get a fair trial is to get out of the state, which even then I don't think it's going to be. I mean, we have people that tune in here, guys, in this channel alone, from Finland, Poland, South Africa, Japan, Thailand. This is all over the world. Okay. So to get a fair trial on this, I don't know. Be real. What be up? Good to see you, Be Real. Welcome back. Good to see you tonight. Yep, we just watched that video too. We're gonna review that as well, I think. That the car beeps. There's two cars there, guys. One of them is a BMW, I can almost promise you. And I think the other one is the green Elantra because the one we see pull up and stop and back up, the color on it is a darker shade, folks. I don't think that's white. I had my wife even looking at it. It's not white. So that ain't Brian's car. Brian doesn't own a green Elantra. He owns a white one. And he wasn't there. He wasn't even in the state at that point. So it couldn't have been him. Just saying. Just saying. I'd like to know why the state thinks that people are so stupid. Thank you, SRB. BBB. There's our SRB on her way home from vacation. Still tuning in. We love you, SRB. We missed you. It's great to see you. And I hope you're being safe. Great to have you here. I think she's using us to stay awake in the car ride home. I think that's what she's doing. I'm just teasing. Either way, I don't care what it is. I'm glad you're here. Let's see next. Raquel, well, Miss Cat K's in the house. Welcome, Miss Cat. Great to see you tonight. Always happy to see you. Getting there. Yes, we've missed you too. Very much so. Hold on. I'm gonna try something here and see what happens. Just one time. One time. Let me see. I refuse to watch Dateline. Nothing but lies, speculation. Miss Jessie's always been on point, guys. She always has. So thank you, Jess. And you're right. This is all that this has been, guys, including, in my opinion, the Steve Gonzalez interviews, this now, so on and so forth. This is all jury tainting. Think about where we're at right now. Think about what's coming up. That's exactly what it's doing. It's tainting the jury. 100%. And people would argue and say, I'm crazy, I'm stupid, that's dumb. Come on. Come on. Let's think sensible here. It just makes sense to me, guys. Just as much as the stupid supposed coincidences. Come on. There ain't that many damn coincidences anywhere. Anywhere. Let me see here. Show. Show. Welcome, everybody. It's wonderful to have you here tonight. Thank you. Absolutely, Eddie. Yep. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Oh, no. What do we got here? 5 new memberships jumping out. Let's see who we got going. Satiris picked one up. That's awesome. Elliot Pollock. Congratulations. Patricia Powell. Granny all the time. And free Karen Reed. That's awesome. Congrats. And welcome to the sauce. It's great to have you here. We appreciate you very much. Just trying to give back a little when I can. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys so very much. Welcome, new meatballs. Welcome to the sauce. All right, all right, all right. Now, truly, YouTube gives me so many of those free ones a month, so I get to send them out to you guys. So, but still, I'm trying to get back. So, we need to put social media with our thumbs up. Selfie titled, I did it. That's a Moonlit Baby is in the house. Good to see you. And absolutely, that's hilarious. I love that, Moonlit. Mikey's in the house. The last 24. Another awesome channel from an awesome member of this family, this community, this team. Check out Mikey's channel, guys. The last 24. The Bombshell's in the house. Good to see you, Bombshell. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Great to have you here. 77 beautiful peeps in the house, guys. 50 likes. We're catching up. Let's get there. Let's get this in that algorithm. Anybody that wants to become a meatball, there's your way to do it. Mikey's throwing it out there for you. I'm sorry, that's to jump into our Discord and join the rest of us in Discord, where you can talk to all these awesome people without having to see them in a live stream. And I'm in there all the time, so jump on in if you want to. All you got to do is send that email off to Brandy or Miss Wisdom. We can set it up. Depends on who's here and who's not, and get you in that Discord if you want to join us, guys. For real, for real. Absolutely, brother. You know, Wade Bird, 77. Welcome back, bro. Great to see you. I saw somebody else just jump in here too. I'm trying to catch up, guys. Come on, come on. That's right, guys. Welcome to the source. Forget about it. Let me see here. And if you got an iPhone and you struggle doing that with that link there, try that one right there. That is for the iPhone users, and it will help you. I think that's the right one. Yeah, that'll help you if you are struggling with the other one. Danielle Kiriako, good evening. Good to see you tonight, Daniela. Thank you for joining us. Miss Jessie, member for 9 months, still rolling. That's awesome, Jessie. Happy day anniversary and congratulations. We appreciate you being part of this community and this family so very much. Cougar 1970, great to see you. Hello and welcome. Good evening. Absolutely. Congrats, Miss Jessie. Come on in, guys. 83 peeps. 53 likes. What's going on with that? Y'all can do better than that. All you got to do is, even if it's just to pretend like you like me for a couple hours, you can do it. Come on now. Let's get this thing up in that algorithm, guys. We're going to get started here shortly. I just want to make sure everybody's in here before we start rolling. Excuse me. Thank you, Miss Tandy. Welcome, guys. It is great to have you all here again. This completes my evenings. These combos that we have, great conversations for real. Mikey didn't forget this time. Moonlit says, Dago, I sent you an email about Publishers Clearinghouse, Evan McMahon conspiracy. Reminds me of what MS. Oh, interesting. Thank you. I love that kind of stuff, Moonlit. Appreciate that. I'll have to check it out. It's been a while. It definitely has been a while since we've seen Miss Jessie. I'm glad she's here. We've missed her. That's for sure. Yes. Guys, this is insane to me. And you can tell, in my opinion, I think Tomboy thinks it too. This is kind of what she brought up and stated, but it's believed that photograph, that new stupid Grim Reaper photograph, Mama Bear found a video that they played the Don't Fear the Reaper song in the background with it, and that's him singing it. It's so ridiculous. I think it's been Photoshopped. Truly, I do. That's me. But hey, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before, and I don't mind being wrong again. Is it going to let me download it or not? There we go. It's ridiculous, guys. It's just ridiculous. They do everything in their power that they can do to make this guy look like a creep. They really do. Excuse me. Same. Yes, I believe it's been Photoshopped for sure. And it gets worse as you blow it up, but it's so hard to see it in that form. But it's ridiculous to me. Just as much as the white shirt selfie is ridiculous too. Tomboy swears up and down she saw the background. I know the nose is ridiculous, you guys. Look at the difference on it. Look how much more protruding it is right here as compared to here. And the angle that this is just ridiculous. So, oh, look, guys, he's going to go do it again. Please give me a break. Give me a break. Yes, Jesse, we have missed you for sure. Oh, of course. They shadowed his eyes, darkened him out. We got to make him look menacing. That's what Timeboy said, SRB, that it don't look like him at all. I mean, you can tell it's him, but still, I mean, look at the difference, folks. It looks like they elongated his face, shadowed his eyes, elongated the nose more. I mean, this is ridiculous. I have seen it, Bombshell. They did a video, one of those where you make the video, you can take and add music to it. Some idiot took and put the "Don't Fear the Reaper" by Blue Oyster Cult. He's singing the song and he's moving to it and singing all. It's so weird. It is so weird. Potato phone. It looks like it backwards. Welcome, bro. A Nokia 3310, right? A potato phone for sure. All I did was resize them, right? I was watching a couple lives just over a year ago. What the actual F happened in the true crime community? I'm trying, Angel. I'm trying. It's so bad. It's hard, but I've stayed out of it as much as I can. I don't even dip my toe in the waters. No need to. Miss Jody Walters, another one of our amazing teachers in the house. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us, Miss Jody. He does kind of have a little bit of the Travis Barker look to. I got you. I'm a huge fan of Travis. I'm a drummer, and of course, we know Travis Barker is too. You're okay, Miss Jody. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Travis Barker's, actually. A lot of people don't like him, but I do. I like his drumming, at least. I'll say that much. Steve Lookner. Folk Implosion, natural one. He does. He's got that. I think it's the angle, the way his head's tilted. Travis Barker takes a lot of pictures like that. Let me see. It is terrible. It is. Research chemical songs. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Phantom. I've heard that. I've seen it. Somebody brought that in here a while back when I did one of my music nights. Yeah, the chin. It's definitely been changed. Like I said, the eyes itself, they made him look as menacing as they could and said, here. Yeah, Kourtney Kardashian. I got you, Jess. I got you. Blink 182. That's right. Yeah, they pulled that nose way down. He almost resembles the Wicked Witch of the West from the Wizard of Oz, guys. For real though. Yeah. Odd couple. But yeah, they don't match up well just as much as when Kim was dating, was it Pete Davidson? That was a strange mixture right there. That was way off. I was like, what the hell? This has got to be for publicity or something. Oh, I knew what you meant, SRB. Who cares? Yeah, when I saw Kim dating Pete Davidson, I said, what are you guys doing? What are you trying to, what's the point in this? And I knew it wouldn't last, but yeah, BK definitely is more, he's more broad. He doesn't look so Skeletor like, come on. Insanely ridiculous. Yeah, 100% Angel. I agree with you. Lisa Wilson in the house. Good to see you tonight, Lisa. Well, thank you. I love seeing these things. Good evening, everybody. I see my favorite show is on. You do such a great job, and you have such a great personality. Well, thank you so much. That means everything to me, Lisa. It really does. It really does. That's why I'm here. So this picture on the right, the black hoodie picture, that's Brian Koberger, supposedly the day before he was arrested on the 28th. Okay, we know the one on the left is after he's been in custody. He's in his jail orange jumpsuits. Okay, the scrubs, and then we have this photo. Okay, this is once he was. This is just hours after his Pennsylvania arrest. Okay, hours. So you tell me. In my opinion, this don't look anything like the black hoodie picture. You can see his shoulders are more structured. The nose, he has a big nose, okay, but not like that. Come on, you guys. And the chin, it looks completely different. It does. They make this guy look like him. And listen, guilty or not guilty, if he did it, he's a monster. There's no two ways about it. I don't think he did. I haven't seen anything that proves he did. I don't think I'm gonna see that. But he doesn't look. He's not that bad of a looking dude. I'm just saying, okay? Now, killers can be attractive. Ted Bundy was a good looking guy. He's crazy, insane murderer. But that picture has definitely been worked on just as much as the white one with the white button down, all of that. That's what they're doing. It's the propaganda train. That's all it is. Christina Lilly, welcome. Yes. So within a 24-hour period, he lost all that weight, or he gained all this weight, and his shoulders got more broad. Come on. We know they did something. They did, be real. They really did make him look bad. They made him look scary and lurking and Reaper-like. Come on. It's so ridiculous. And here's my thing. If you guys got to do that to get the public to believe that, to think this guy's guilty, something ain't right with this whole thing. That's all I'm saying. Something ain't right at all. And the defense and prosecution vehemently deny that Brian has any link to the victims. Gee, guys, I wonder. Yeah, that's what they're saying. That supposedly Dateline has pictures of the victims on his phone. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it for real. 2.5 years later, I'm still saying not guilty. And the guilters are really working overtime. And you have to ask why, because they know there's nothing on Brian. He didn't do it. Amen, Jess. Listen, Jesse, the last time you came in here, I believe it's been a good minute. Okay, the last time you were here like this, I was still on the fence with this, and I was leaning back and forth, guilty, innocent, guilty, innocent. Okay, and with everything that we've seen over the past month and a half, truly, I have to tell you that I have jumped down off the fence and I'm standing on the side that Brian's on, because I don't see that he did this. I can't see anything that tells me he did this at this point. And if it's there, I want to see it, and I'll believe it. Just like SRB just said, I'll believe it when I see it. It makes no sense to me. Okay, Kat. We'll catch up on it later. Yeah, that's what I've heard. The Dateline has more than the prosecution does. That's pretty sad. Oh, Bologna. Good stuff, Thrive. Good stuff. Exactly. Yeah, right. They've shown no real evidence, and I think they know it. I'm still waiting for this big bombshell that they're going to drop somewhere. Is it going to be, guys? We punked you. We know he's innocent because I swear to God, that's what's going to happen. That's the only thing that makes any sense. I'm convinced the Ridge Road photo will exonerate him now. Well, guys, there's two cars in this. We're going to talk about this tonight. There's a green Elantra and a white BMW. Neither one of them belong to this guy. Neither one of them are a white Elantra. So interesting. Backwood said, so Dateline's got his phone now. Can't wait for the subpoena. I hope they at least swipe right on the evidence. Amen to that one, bro. That's amazing. With a gag order, how does a mainstream media channel get a suspect in a quadruple homicide's phone with a gag order? I mean, what's going on? How does that work out? Somebody explain that to me. Oh, of course. Yes, we know. So is that the green Elantra that showed up when they yes, bomb show. That's the same car. There's Jacob. Good to see you. Finally joined us on a Dateline. Idaho Port show. Great to have you here. He took 4 photos of his license. It's a terrible photo. The terrible photos though. Does that seem off from Dateline show? By the way, I haven't seen it, Jake, so I can't tell you, bub. Gina's in the house. GC Reed, good to see you. Christina Lilly, welcome back. Good to see you tonight. The green Elantra theory is pretty compelling. There appears to be something that does look like the green car's license plate. Yes. And when it's seen through one of those IR cameras, that color, it doesn't show up white. It's a light gray color. That makes perfect sense. Okay, that's what it looks like in the videos too. Not at all. Yes, very creepy. I agree. Bull cocky. Exactly, Mikey. Let's see. Come on in, guys. 95 peeps in the house. Let me see what else we got going on over here. Hang on. I gotta get rid of some tabs I had opened. Too many for sure. Shut that one down. And oh god, that one too. We got 68 likes with 93 people. What is going on? Y'all don't like me? Why don't you guys like me? Come on. What did I do? Why don't you like me? Someone said that was one of those sticky things they put on cars. I thought it was weird that the car had to show up that day just to be in the fight. I agree with you, Bombshell. Welcome, Cougar. Good to see you. Cougar 1970. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you very much for being here. Mikey's in. Thank you so much, brother, for that. And guys, just to let you know, anybody that chooses to support this channel via these links here, whether it be PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, please know you don't have to do that. We don't expect you to do that, but we absolutely do appreciate it because that, guys, is how I keep this channel going. That pays for my internet bill. That pays for the StreamYard and all the stuff that we need to run this stuff, guys. Because it comes here. It comes to me now. It doesn't have to go for a month through YouTube and they take a percentage. It hits here now. So that's how we do that. When anybody chooses to support us that way, we do appreciate it so very much. But just know we don't expect you to do it. So thank you so much for that, Mikey. And anybody that chooses to do that. Hemisphere's in the house. Good to see you, bro. Thank you for joining us. Dust Pack Soothsayer. Hey, that's a great song. Great band, too. Come on down, guys. 90 peeps, 75 likes. We're getting there. Brown Eyes is in the house. Welcome. Good to see you. Where is everyone getting these photos from? Also, where did the 911 call come from as far as releasing? That's a great question, Brown Eyes. There's been some people saying that the 911 call was leaked early on by some other people. I don't know. I received it from Channel 4 the day that they put it out to the public that way. And I played it, and it was not the true call. Outcast and CC broke it down and cleaned it up so we could hear everything going on in it. And I appreciate CC for that. And Outcast. Outcast, both of them have done great stuff with the audio, and I appreciate them both. Cat Lovers in the house. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. I got to agree with that too, Cat Lover. Of course, Howard Blum always got to put himself in the middle of something and all his bullshit. Yeah, Outcast is awesome. I like him too, be real. He's a good dude, and he does great stuff over there. He's hilarious too. Again, welcome, Brown Eyes. Good to see you tonight. That's a great question. Where are these pictures coming from? Who's handing them over? How are they getting out there with this gag order? Interesting, isn't it? I don't think the pictures and the gag order don't go together. I'm just saying, like, these things are being, this is all being done on purpose. And again, my feelings on this is jury tainting. Yeah. Pumpkin, I've heard that too. Come on in, guys. We're going to get rolling. Oh, we're going to get rolling here in just a minute. 78 likes. We're getting there. 88 peeps. We're almost there. I think everybody's almost in here. All right. All right, let me go ahead and drop this now. And pin it. Right there we go. Anybody that wants to join me, the link is now pinned in the top of the chat. Come on up here. Keep me some company. I promise I don't smell. I don't stink. I'll be nice to you. If you're new to coming up here, I do need you to drop backstage for a second and show me your face just for a matter of a second or two. That way I can be sure you're going to show your face and not your waist. That's all I ask for, guys. Thank you, SRB. The link is pinned at the top of chat. You want to jump up here and hang out with me? Let's do it. Mikey. Oh, Mikey's on the ball tonight, SRB. You better watch it. William Doyle, welcome. Good to see you. They never produced a chain of custody for the touch DNA. There are chain of custody forms with duplicates that have to be signed. Any mistakes and the specimen is rejected. Great point, my friend. Thank you for that. Let's see here. He got you, SRB. You're slacking. Mikey got you? Oh, boy. She's tired, Mikey. Give her a break. She's been in the car all day. You guys are a trip. That's my fam. Wow, crazy peeps. Wow, that's crazy. The movie Scream is playing in the background in my living room. I can hear it. I just heard the ding. Sydney. Wade says, Dago, you're aware. Were you aware that the dumpster video from 1330 Linda, not the parking lot, is missing? Yes, we know, Wade. We've been looking for it for quite a while now. From 331 to 406, we've been looking everywhere for it. Lana's been looking for it. Everybody, we're looking for this footage. If anybody knows where that is or what happened to it, who scrubbed it, why, whatever, I want to know where it's at. Tomboy, we've all been looking for this, and the mods in here have been digging and looking for it too. But nobody knows where it's at. Nobody does. I think Lana even offered somebody $1,000 if they can find it for her. That's how bad we want to see what's on that video. It is, Wade. It's absolutely suspicious. 100%, bro. Yeah, I think Outcast went looking for it too. All of us have been out here looking for this video. I think Jules was looking for it. It's just gone. Somebody scribbed that specific spot for a reason. I wonder why, guys. Anybody's welcome to join me. Scott could join me, Angel, anybody. You could join me if you want to. Come on. I love hearing your guys' voices and your thoughts and opinions vocally, not just typing. And everybody's so everybody knows, anybody that's new in here. I want everybody to realize that everybody's feelings, thoughts, and opinions are absolutely respected in here. There's people in here that think that Brian's innocent. There's people that come in here that think that he's guilty. And there's people that come in here that are in between. And we will respect all of their feelings and thoughts. That's how we do it here. Nobody will be rejected because of the way they think or feel. They will be treated like everybody's treated, with absolute respect in here. These are the only rules that I have. Okay. And I will treat you all as you deserve to be as well. But my moderators specifically know what they're doing. They do an amazing job. So please respect them as well. If they say something, they're only saying it for a reason, guys. They're not picking on any. They don't pick on people. So those are my only rules for anybody that's new. Just respect each other, guys, and treat each other as you would want to be treated. Thank you. Could you imagine if we all showed up at trial and filled the benches behind the defense? Brian would be like, "What the hell is?" You're probably right, Jess. Yeah, Jesse. Absolutely. Any opinions on the informant theory? There's a lot of people that think that, Pumpkin. Yeah, any theories anybody has, listen. The only thing we ask in here is I do not and I will not allow anybody to victim shame the victims that actually the four students that passed. We don't do that in here. And kind of take it easy on the families. I know some people are irritated with some of the stuff that's been put out by Steve. Let's do it with respect. If you have an opinion about that, please show as much respect as you can when you make your statements about that. That's all I ask, okay? Truly, but no victim shaming at all with any of the, Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, or Ethan. We don't do that, guys. That's just too much of it gets done in other places. We don't need to do that. We can get our points across without doing that stuff. You're good. You're good, SRB. Don't you dare worry about it. That's right. Just be polite. That's all we got to do. We're adults, guys. We can talk about these things and absolutely disagree about something and shake hands at the same time. It's no big deal. We all have the right to our opinion, even though none of us have seen the real evidence. That's a fact, guys. And everything that we're going to be talking about, other than anything that's mentioned in the documents, okay? Because that's the only, well, then again, that's the only factual information we have, but that's the closest thing I should say that we have. Besides that, everything that we talk about is purely alleged, based on speculative theory when we talk about that stuff. And that's all there is to it, guys. That's all. Babs in the house. Good to see you. And that's what this channel stands for, Babs. Thank you for making that statement, guys. We just want the truth, and we want justice for the victims and their families. The voice for the voiceless. Excuse me. Amen, Miss Tandy. Thank you. Absolutely, Pumpkin. See, we can do it, and we do it in here every night, guys, so it can happen. That's all right, Eddie. You're good, bro. You are good. You are good. You are good. I'm sure somebody will join me at some point. No problem. And if not, I can do this all by myself. All right. We got 89 peeps, 81 likes. We're almost there. Let's see what we got in here to jump into first. Some of the stuff that I was looking at and wanted to talk about. Couple videos, couple different things. Let me see here. Show. Show. Hang on, everybody. All right. One minute. Excuse me. Come on, load up. Okay. Mm. All right. First thing we're going to talk about here. Hold on a minute. We're going to review this. Creme 2 put this out. Or I'm sorry, not Creme 2. King 5. Sorry about that. Jeez, Lord. And we'll see what else is going to come out through this at the same time when this is actually done. For those of you that haven't seen this yet, hold on here.
Mingling and socializing and started kind of mingling and socializing and started chatting with this guy, and he had told me that he had
Well, now a lot of you guys have probably seen this, and we did see pieces of another interview that's like this, but just bear with me.
just moved and he was starting his PhD.
A woman is recalling the moment she met the man who would later be accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students. It's now been more than 2 years since the tragic deaths of Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Conway native Ethan Chapin. And as we get closer to Brian Koberger's trial date, we're also learning new details about what led up to his arrest. That includes video and digital evidence that investigators say track Koberger's movements from the night of the murders. Dateline spoke with former students as well as the victims' friends who are now opening up for the first time about their interactions with Koberger.
The wording of the text as I look back on it is kind of peculiar. It was almost overly formal. I really enjoy that activity. So, can you follow up with me about that?
You can watch the 2-hour Dateline special, The Terrible Night on King Road on King 5 beginning tonight at 9 o'clock.
Sorry, guys. Sorry that got stuck here. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. And a little bit of technical issue here. 1 second. My apologies. I'm getting there, guys. There's some tech stuff going. And I had to step away real quick too to use the little boy's room, so my apologies. Please forgive me. If I could get this to load, I don't know what the problem is here. I'll get it right, I promise you. Okay. Definitely want to review some things to talk about. Walt Harris, good to see you. All right, all right. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where is it? There's another interview. Of course, Nancy dropped a motive video, which is a joke to me. That was one I wanted to talk to you guys about with that too. I'm trying to pull all these up out of my downloads. As much as she's as irritating as she is. Of course not, Tandy. Of course not. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is kind of a joke to me. Somebody said there was something that was said in here that was interesting. I can't imagine what. Can't imagine what. But we're going to look through it real quick. It's not too long. And then, like I said, some of our conversation pieces. I know, Jesse. I'm sorry. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Just cover your eyes. I know it's not even that's the problem. It's watching and listening to her. I'm sorry.
Going on. One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she got like.
Here we go.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah.
Tonight, motive revealed. Why would Brian Koberger, according to the state, stalk and murder 4 innocent people at that King Road address? He had to watch them to see their comings and goings. What could possibly be the motive? He didn't even know them, according to the defense. Joining me now, expert Howard Bloom, author of When the Night Comes Falling, a requiem for the Idaho student murders. Howard, motive?
The big question in this entire case has always been why? Why would someone enter a house, off-campus home of 4 students and brutally murder them in the hours before dawn? And all along, everyone has been coming up with hypotheses about what could have happened. Well, now the prosecution thinks they have put the pieces together. They believe that there's a direct link from Dr. Catherine Ramsland to Brian Koberger. Dr. Ramsland had been his tutor, his professor at graduate school at DeSalle University when he went for his master's. He idolized her. She put him on a course to become a forensic psychologist. And
well, wait a minute, Howard. Okay, so she was his instructor. We know that. We know she's a renowned criminal investigator and professor, but how does that equal motive, Howard?
Brian Koberger is someone who becomes obsessed easily. He was a heroin addict, and then he kicked it. I believe he was obsessed with one of the victims in the King Road murder house. And I also believe he was obsessed with Catherine Ramsland. I believe he, in a way, idolized her. He idolized all her accomplishments, and he wanted to make his own life, his own career, mirror her accomplishments. He wanted to become a forensic psychologist. He wanted to have her talent, her ability to look into the dark recesses of the criminal mind. But he even wanted to take it one step farther as his relationship grew. He wanted to prove to her that he could be even better than she was in understanding the criminal mind, because he could commit the perfect crime. And this perfect crime that he was committing was, in many ways, one can speculate, almost a love letter to Dr. Catherine Ramsland. He was trying to win her affection and her respect, and his way of doing this, in his bizarre sort of erotomania, was to make this perfect crime as an homage to her.
Howard Bloom has written the book, That's True, When the Night Comes Falling, but I need a shrink. Again, Dr. Bethany Marshall, I'm just a trial lawyer. What is he saying? Erotomania? What?
What Howard Bloom is saying is that Brian Koberger was in love with his mentor. And because he was studying to become a clinical psychologist, a criminologist, he wanted to commit the perfect crime. Howard Bloom calls this erotomania. Erotomania is when somebody is in a very manic, excited state and they believe that they are at the center of another person's attention. So he believes that Dr. Ramsland is in love with him and he's going to prove.
How absolutely insane is this, you guys? This blew my mind. I had to talk to you guys about this one. Unsolved Cases in the House. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here tonight.
Prove that he's worthy of her love. Nancy, this makes no sense. I mean, honestly, she's a criminologist and he's.
And here, the funny thing is Nancy wants to believe this, you guys. She wants to believe this. And we hear people talking about how ridiculous this is, but I truly believe that Nancy wants to believe this.
Going to commit a crime to impress her. I mean, logic just, there's nothing logical about that. I mean, let's say it were true. Did he take a trophy to give to her? Did he take pictures to show to her? I mean, it would be more understandable if he caught a killer to impress her, not becoming a killer.
We're talking about potential motive in this case. Was he so obsessed with Dr. Ramsland that he had grown to love her in an obsessive way? To Chris McDonough joining me, a veteran homicide detective, director, Cold Case Foundation.
Oh yeah, Chris is gonna believe this too. He's gonna say, Nancy, I can see this being something that Brian was doing. Sorry guys, I had to do it.
And star of The Interview Room on YouTube. I've seen murders.
Yeah,
for
I'm not a fan of Chris
less, but
McDumbass either. Sorry.
obsession, definitely a motive. I've
Welcome,
seen many times, and it doesn't mean the defendant and the love object had ever been intimate, had ever even held hands or kissed. It's the obsession with Ramsland. That's what Howard Bloom is talking about, whether requited or not.
Yeah, the challenge, though, Nancy, with the obsession aspect here with Dr. Ramsland is Brian Koberger hates women. Let's just start there. And his obsessive behavior was not a.
Brian hates women. How about that one, guys? You got to love that too.
Around his professor, but rather his
That's so
study
stupid.
of those who would commit mass murder. And so I think we need to dig a little bit deeper here. And again, I believe that at some point it will be shown that he was obsessed with serial killers. Ted Bundy specifically.
Was Brian Koberger obsessed with Dr. Ramsland, one of his female instructors, known as the consummate expert in the field? We know that also the defense fought again tooth and nail to keep out his thesis. The thesis regarding criminal behavior that he wrote, which delves into the criminal psyche. Listen.
In arguments against its inclusion, the defense reveals that prosecutors plan to enter into evidence records from Koberger's graduate studies in psychology at DeSales
Agreed, ma'am.
University. The filing says they have received discovery including Koberger's school calendar, written coursework, testing, emails, and syllabi from his time as a master's student, and the attorneys failed to see its relevance. As part of his theses, Koberger worked with professors to develop a survey exploring how emotions influence a criminal's decision-making during the commission of a violent crime.
Wow, was that airbrushed or what? Sydney Sumner joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. It wasn't just a survey. It wasn't just a black and white on a page report. He would ask these violent felons, how did you pick your victim? What did it feel like when you enacted the crime? In other words, when you stabbed someone or raped someone or killed someone, felt the life ebbing out of their body. What did that feel like?
So I got to wonder then if the other people that did this, the same thesis, are they all murderers too, guys? I wonder. Hey, Clifton, good to see you tonight. Unbelievable.
Like, how did you get away? What was your exit strategy? He wanted the gruesome details, the emotions these violent felons experienced in the throes of the murder.
That's absolutely correct. This was not just a pick one of the below survey. It was extremely in-depth. He wanted to know exactly how that criminal felt as they committed their crime, their violent crime. In addition to that survey, prosecutors also wanted to introduce a report that he gave, and it was basically how he would go in and assess a crime scene if he was the lead investigator in a case first to the crime scene. And that case study was a stabbing of a woman, more middle-aged than the victims in his actual criminal case. But I think prosecutors plan to use that just to demonstrate how much knowledge
Sydney,
of crime scene cleanup
let me
Koberger
clarify
has.
something that you just said. In his study, his hypothetical victim was a white female alone that he stabbed with a knife inside a structure. Isn't that true?
And what I swear to God, the older Nancy gets, the worse she gets. She's becoming insane. 100% insane. All right, hang on, guys. I got a couple other things here. Absolutely was. Okay, so Fox 13 just dropped this new little thing that they put out on this. I thought this was kind of interesting. I wanted to share with you guys as well. For those of you that may not have seen this yet, we all know typically which direction all these things go, but we can break these down ourselves and pull out the good pieces and dump the bullshit. So, Captain Jake's good to see you, bro. Insane in the membrane. Yes, she is. 100%. The older she gets, the worse she gets. I'm sorry. Right, Jess. She makes you sick. I'm sorry. Miss She-Hawk fan. Sorry. Chris. Yeah, it was 100%, Jesse. It was a group project. So does that make the rest of them? Are they homicidal maniacs? Are they psychopaths? Are they murderers? Are they going to commit murder? Nope. But just him. Just him. It's so stupid. I'm sorry, but it is. It's stupid. On we go. Thank you guys for being here again. Thank you for
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening. Something's happening in our house. We don't know what.
It's been more than 900 days since 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death. For their families, an agonizing wait for justice.
You just keep having to relive it over and over
welcome,
and over until,
Allison.
it gets itself through the process.
The trial of suspect Brian Kohberger is quickly approaching, with defense motions coming fast and furious.
It's been impressive, to say the least, the effort that they've expended in challenging each and every aspect of this case.
A death penalty case that could land before the Supreme Court as this true crime saga unfolds in real time.
This could happen to anybody, and that's the fascination and what's going on with this guy in his head. And he's an odd duck.
As a theory on the motive emerges, we're going inside the Idaho murders tonight in the Spotlight.
The Spotlight brought to you by Beacon Plumbing.
A whole lot of them are, Cap. A whole lot.
Good evening, I'm David Rose, and thank you for joining us for this special edition of The Spotlight and the next installment of Brian Kohberger inside the Idaho murders. Kohberger is accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, and Xander Kernodle found stabbed to death in their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho, less than 10 miles from the Washington State University campus in Pullman, where Kohberger was a graduate student in criminology. 2.5 years later, the motive remains a haunting question. Now a new theory is being floated. Writer Howard Bloom recently posted an article on Airmail suggesting that prosecutors believe Kohberger committed the murders to impress his former professor.
Exactly.
That professor is Catherine Ramsland, a renowned forensic psychologist and author of more than 50 books, who taught Kohberger at DeSales University in Pennsylvania. In his article, Bloom writes, quote, Kohberger wanted to prove that the pupil was ready to become the teacher. He'd kill and get away with it. He'd prove how smart he was. Bloom compares Kohberger to John Hinckley, who tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan to impress actress Jodie Foster. The article suggests Ramsland stayed in touch with Kohberger since he left DeSales. But in a statement to News Nation, Ramsland firmly denies key claims made in the article, saying she had no correspondence with Kohberger while he was at WSU and has not been in contact with him since his arrest. I spoke with retired homicide detective Cloyd Steiger about this new theory and how important a motive is in the case against Kohberger.
You don't have to show
What's up,
motive
Mountain
in the
Man?
trial. You just have to show that it happened. If you have a motive, that's a bonus, but you don't ever have to show motive.
Is it possible he was trying to impress her?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's in his warped mind? But yeah, I know Catherine Ramsland, by the way. She's a friend. She would do nothing like that.
On social media, Bloom responded to Ramsland's statement, at one point apologizing for stating in error that Kohberger emailed her while at WSU. Bloom ended the post by saying he stands by his hypothesis as just that, a theory. It remains to be seen whether prosecutors will introduce a motive once Kohberger goes on trial. That's set to begin August 11th. In this pretrial phase, we've been following a flurry of big developments. That includes 2 attempts by the defense to get the death penalty taken off the table. The judge in this case knocking down both of those motions. The judge deciding that Kohberger's autism diagnosis does not meet the legal definition of an intellectual disability that could spare him from the death penalty if convicted. The defense has been arguing that it would be unconstitutional or cruel and unusual punishment to send Kohberger to the firing squad if he's found guilty. Kohberger's lawyers told Ada County Judge Stephen Hippler that Kohberger's autism diagnosis means he can't fully contribute to his own defense. This despite his advanced degrees and high IQ.
They're not saying, look, he can't be found guilty of murder. He can, just like somebody with intellectual disability can be found guilty of murder. But because of this severe developmental disorder, he doesn't have sufficient moral culpability to justify putting him to death.
Since so few capital murder cases have considered whether autism was a factor, Cornell University law professor John Bloom says
Agreed,
the defeat
Allison.
of this
We just talked
defense
about that at the
motion
beginning.
might give Kohberger's team its strongest chance for an appeal, one that could reach all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
I think there's an opportunity for a court to say, either as a matter of state law, state constitutional law, federal law, that we're not going to allow people with autism to be sentenced to death.
To unpack this defense motion and the judge's ruling, we spoke with noted attorney Ann Brindley.
There's Alicia. Hello.
Well, the defense tried to strike the death penalty, saying that because he's been diagnosed with autism, then there shouldn't be the death penalty phase should not be allowed, and he shouldn't be subject to the death penalty. They're basically saying there's a case in 2000 U.S. Supreme Court that said you cannot execute somebody. It's cruel and unusual punishment under the 8th Amendment to execute somebody based on if they're mentally ill. I mean, overall, there can be different aspects of that, but overall, you can't have somebody, they call it intellectual disability is the terminology. It's cruel and unusual to execute somebody that has that type of a situation. So what they tried to say, the defense tried to say, is autism fits in that category. Therefore, judge, you need to strike the death penalty because you'd be violating the 8th Amendment to even subject him to it. Judge comes back and says it's not an intellectual disability that would qualify for striking the death penalty, but it could be used in mitigation in the defense portion of the penalty phase if it comes to that. So during that phase, you can raise all kinds of different things, including that he has autism, but it's not enough to strike the death penalty. They've really tried hard with that. And by the way, it looks like the state's asking for some more psych testing right now. I don't know if it's related to that and the judge's comment about it being available during the penalty phase. It may be that's why they're asking for more testing. But the fact remains is that's just not going to be enough to strike the death penalty. I don't know if they were banking on that or not, but that they sure tried hard, because the win for someone in a case like this defending is to get the death penalty off the table.
Some have questioned whether Kohberger could use an insanity defense in his case. The short answer is no, you can't in Idaho. As the Spotlight's Shira Matsuzawa reports, it's one of 4 states that does not have an insanity defense.
Back in the 1970s, early 80s, we found that the insanity defense was being misused in Idaho, in my opinion, in drunk driving cases, in minor matters. Someone would assert that they did not know the nature and quality of their act.
Which is why former Idaho Attorney General, as well as Lieutenant Governor and current criminal defense attorney Dave Leroy, pushed for the state to repeal it. He says what would often happen is both sides would get their own psychiatrist or psychologist, which would often confuse the jury and leave taxpayers footing the bill on all of the cases and expenses.
I think it, over time, has probably saved the taxpayers of the state of Idaho potentially hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars.
While there isn't an insanity defense in Idaho, a person's mental state is still taken into consideration before and after their trial.
We still, before a trial is had, if someone is so out of touch with reality that they can't aid in their own defense, have the ability to put someone in a mental health secure setting to try to improve their mental health to the point that they can go forward to trial. So if someone is not fit for trial, we don't try them as a criminal defendant.
In Brian Kohberger's case, he has not been deemed mentally incompetent to stand trial. His defense, however, has previously asked the judge to remove the death penalty, claiming executing someone with autism would constitute as cruel and unusual punishment. The judge issued a written ruling that said, in part, not only has the defendant failed to show that autism spectrum disorder is equivalent to an intellectual disability for death penalty exemption purposes, he has not shown there is national consensus against subjecting individuals with ASD to capital punishment. He went on to write, ASD may be a mitigating factor to be weighed against the aggravating factors in determining if the defendant should receive the death penalty, but is not a death penalty disqualifier. Kohberger is charged in the murders of Ethan Chapin, Xana Coronado, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Madison Mogan. If he is found guilty, the court can consider his mental state when determining his sentence. Earlier this year, Kohberger's medical and mental health records were handed over to prosecutors. The contents remain confidential, but some experts say those records could be used as a potential mitigating factor that spares his life if he is sentenced to the death penalty.
We don't disregard or pretend that people with mental illness don't commit crimes. We simply don't allow them to avoid conviction for a crime. And we deal with the mental health issues before or afterward in appropriate ways.
For the Spotlight, I'm Shira Matsuzawa.
As mentioned earlier, Koberger's attorneys tried to take the death penalty off the table in 2 different ways. Less than a week after the ruling on Koberger's autism diagnosis, the judge also denied a defense motion to strike the death penalty based on allegations that the prosecution failed to turn over evidence on time. Defense attorneys argue that delays in the discovery process hindered their ability to mount a complete defense for Koberger, pointing to the fact that it was over 50 terabytes of data. The judge disagreed, writing in a court order that while the discovery is lengthy, the manner in which the state produced it did not constitute misconduct. In that order, the judge said the defense complaints, quote, ring hollow. That ruling stands in contrast to a decision made in another high-profile case out of Idaho. Ann Bremner weighs in on that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I saw this one coming from Lori Daybell's case, the cult mom, because she, like we talked about, shortly before the trial said, the state has not given me all the discovery I requested. They haven't complied with the rules in terms of giving me enough information to adequately prepare for trial. It's a due process violation. I can't prepare. And guess what the judge did? The judge agreed. And as a sanction for not complying with discovery, he struck the death penalty. So it's almost like looking at the same playbook here, but they've been raising it for a while. And they are on the eve of trial. And so as they finally raise it to the judge, he says, he used the word hollow, that their claims really were hollow in terms of saying they don't have enough information. Because he saw this coming. You know, he saw them
Welcome,
talking
Scott
about it.
Blue.
He's
Thanks for
in
joining.
Idaho and knows about Lori Daybell's, the ruling there, striking the death penalty. So they said it's disorganized. There's stuff in there that's not material, that, you know, they've basically just thrown a bunch of information at us, and it's too hard for us to go through all of it and get ready for trial. And Ann Taylor said, I personally review everything in a case. I don't rely on summaries or AI or interns or anything else. I read everything. I'm not ready. The judge said hollow, and the judge said, you have not shown me that you've tried to hire staff, that you've tried to have people, you know, help you, that you've tried to organize this with certain programs. You haven't shown any of that. And so I'm going to deny your motion to, you know, for any kind of a sanction and striking the death penalty. So they could have come in a little bit more well-armed, shall we say, on that issue. And the judge denied their motion.
So with the death penalty still on the table, the question becomes, what will Koberger's attorneys try next? The defense is expected to suggest that there was a second suspect, but retired Detective Steiger tells me it won't make a difference.
There could be a second suspect, but that doesn't exonerate the first suspect. I don't think there was a second suspect, and they have to show to the court reasonable grounds to bring that up before the judge will allow it.
They can't just spring that on the jury in the middle of the trial.
No, it's just an attempt to muddy the water.
Yeah, and that seems to be what the defense is doing a lot.
That's all they can do. I used to call it, when you have a case where it's just overwhelming, the defense attorney do what I used to call the squid defense. They squirt out ink in the water and try to swim away in the confusion, right? That's what they're doing here.
So this case is kind of like taming a horse, right? Just when you think you got him walking well, you get bucked right off the horse.
Well, this is a high stakes trial, a high stakes case, so it's going to happen. And the prosecutors, I would hope, are ready for all of this.
Good point, Hammond.
Recent court filings in the Brian Koberger case revealed this selfie. It was taken on Koberger's phone on November 13th, 2022, just hours after the brutal murders of the 4 University of Idaho students.
I see a cocky guy, and who knows why do you normally, when you get up, you're home alone, take a shower, you take a selfie? What was the purpose of that? To show you're home? I mean, maybe he thought that would be evidence that he was home. But it's fine. You were home at 9:30 in the morning. That doesn't mean anything.
We can expect to see that selfie.
Why do so many people act like that's so abnormal? I mean, I swear to God, everybody takes selfies nowadays. Okay, God forbid. That's unbelievable. What's such a big deal they made of that? It's just stupid.
During Koberger's trial this summer, and it could prove a damning piece of evidence against him.
I thought that's quote unquote selfie picture, I thought was very damaging for the defense for a number of reasons. A, it was the same day within hours of the offenses. B, he was in front of a shower without the shower curtain. I think that was found somewhere else. And it looks like he just took a shower and he had his shirt all buttoned up, you know, to the top. It looked like to me like there were some injuries. I think some people saw that, some didn't, but it looked like.
This is what I'm saying. People are seeing imaginary things, making up imaginary. This is so ridiculous. Injuries. You show me where an injury is on this guy. Where? One. A scratch, a dent, a bruise. These people are insane. Absolutely insane. I don't get it. I don't get it. Look at him. There's no injuries. None. This woman's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Shower curtain. I think that was found somewhere else.
The shower curtain's right there. Once again, there's the shower curtain. More bullshit. More bullshit.
Else. And it looks like he just took a shower and he had his shirt all buttoned up, to the top. It looked like to me like there were some injuries. I think some people saw that, some didn't, but it looked like on his forehead to me and on his hand.
What's on his forehead? Somebody show me. Yeah, I see the skin. And some more skin. There's some skin there. And some skin here. Yeah, he's definitely got some skin there on his forehead. That's what I see. After they photoshopped it, of course.
Hand and knuckles, like had some bruising. Maybe it's just
bruising. Okay. This woman's got a brain injury is what that's the injury she's got. This is insane.
Just the lighting. But the worst part was the thumbs up. I mean, that just said, mission accomplished to me. And it was so creepy. And he looks creepy. He looks like really kind of pale and kind of greasy, and his eyes look kind of dead. And it's like you just put that picture up there in your opening statement.
Pale and greasy. Lady, you look creepy. Go iron your face. Good God, these people are so ignorant.
And then everyone on the jury is like, ugh, but this thing, I did it. And I don't know what that's all about, but he took that picture of himself and it was in his phone. And obviously to him, was the mission accomplished. So I think it's almost as damaging as the buying the Amazon knife.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Up there.
Agreed.
Because it shows that's what he meant to do. And he did it. He meant to kill those people. He meant to just do, mayhem in terms of a crime scene. And he drove there from Wazoo, from his apartment and in Pullman, and he came back home. And I bet that's the first thing he did is take a shower. He had to have had blood on him. That's been an issue in the case too, how much blood was on him. But he took a shower and then he did the thumbs up to himself, like, nice job, well done.
On the night that Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, and Xander Kernodle were murdered, a surviving roommate witnessed a masked intruder in their home and described him to police as having bushy eyebrows. The defense filed a motion trying to get that description blocked from the trial, claiming the witness was drunk. I asked retired homicide detective Cloyd Steiger about the importance of this bushy eyebrow debate.
I would say it's only somewhat important. I mean, like I said, of all the things that's going against him, that's the least of their worries. But it doesn't matter if you're drunk. I mean, if you're not slobbering on the floor, almost unconscious drunk, 60% of the homicides they investigated had drunk witnesses, right? So it's a matter of quantification. You can't quantify that talking, but the fact that she brought it up several times, because when she saw him going through there, it was a significant event for her. It's not like you're just walking down the street and you pass somebody and somebody says later, hey, what'd that guy look like you passed? Well, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to him. There was a significant event.
Exactly, Eve. That's hilarious.
And she continually brought the only thing that was visible, because he had a mask on, was his
Bingo,
eyes. And so that's completely credible to me.
The judge denied the defense motion, saying the eyewitness testimony is highly relevant in this case. Attorney Ann Bremner calling that motion thin and convoluted. Here's her take on why the defense has filed so many motions trying to throw out evidence.
Well, they're losing, but they're expecting to lose. And so they're basically preserving things on appeal because it'll be an automatic appeal if the death penalty is imposed. So they want to have everything on the record that they can raise later with the court on the appeal. So
Welcome,
they didn't
Adrian.
expect to win most of those, but they sure made those motions. And remember all the DNA motions and search warrant challenges and arrest warrant challenge and all of that, challenging the DNA on the basis of the analysis.
Cap.
They've done all of that. So they're hopeful, that something in that, might result in a reversal.
Exactly, Alex.
I feel for the people who are going to wind up sitting on this jury. It's not going to be an easy task, but it's an important one.
12 jurors and 6 alternates will be tasked with deciding the guilt or innocence of Bryan Kohberger. Choosing that panel is a high-stakes process for the prosecution and defense. Spotlight Shira Matsuzawa spoke with legal experts about what both sides will be looking for when jury selection begins.
It's your civic responsibility
What's up,
serving
Izzy?
on a jury.
One of the best things about America is our jury system.
And while it's unknown who will serve on the jury for Bryan Kohberger's trial, both sides are gearing up for the jury selection process.
For me, it's like my favorite part of a case because I get a really good sense of who I'll be together with, for the ensuing weeks or months.
Attorney Ann Bremner says before potential jurors
Woman
set foot
irritates
into
the
the
hell out of me.
courthouse, they'll likely fill out a lengthy questionnaire, asking them their views on law enforcement, the death penalty, and if they've ever heard of Bryan Kohberger. From there, attorneys can question the prospective jurors in a process known as voir dire.
And then you start looking at two things. One is indoctrination and the other is kind of exploration. And indoctrination during a jury selection is to try and hit your themes as you talk to jurors, like whatever the themes are for each side to say, do you agree with this idea? How do you feel?
That's exactly it, Super Goat. Everything that this Stevie Nicks wannabe back in 1974 is saying, they're going to repeat this. They're going to hang on to every word and say, well, she said it. That's why it's true. And that's what this and then everything else. It's ridiculous. Hey, Bobby, good to see you. It's just insane. And the things she's saying are so out there. Okay. And I hate to say who that she has a title, guys. That's what kills me. That's the problem. Stuff like this is why there's so much misinformation and why he hasn't had a fair shake. Amen, bro. Amen.
About this or that, to try and
why I
get
called her
people
a
kind of
wannabe,
going
but-
away a little bit then. And a lot of judges won't allow that, but that's
Agreed,
something you try to
Temple,
do.
and good to see you today.
Dr. Andrea Blunt Hunter is a trial consultant with Mind Matters Jury Consulting. She says they're not looking for a juror who has never heard of Kohberger and how he's accused of murdering University of Idaho students Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kronodal, because that could be difficult considering the media exposure this case has received. But rather, they're looking for a person in the middle.
Those who've heard about it, but understands there's always two sides to a story. And the best case for the defense is just to find someone who's willing to hear their story.
Both sides are also paying attention to demographics as well as personalities.
Each side will be looking for different relationships people have to authority. For example, the prosecution would want law
Bingo,
and
Fizzy.
order
100% right.
advocates on their side. And there's probably a lot of them in Boise, Idaho. So the defense has a tougher challenge.
She says Kohberger's attorneys will be looking for people who are more skeptical and don't accept things at first glance. There's also another challenge.
One of the dark horses that both sides are afraid of is the juror who really wants to be on this jury.
And she says no one wants that person to slip through because it could lead to a mistrial. For the Spotlight, I'm Shira Matsuzawa.
Jury selection is set to begin on July 30th, with the trial scheduled to start on August 11th. And you can count on Fox 13 for coverage every step of the way, with episode 5 of Bryan Kohberger, Inside the Idaho Murders, coming next month. And you can stream the whole series so far on the Fox Local app.
I think a lot of us did, Bobby. Honestly, I know I did. All right, guys. Hold on here. I've been going through some of these things and just pulling out pieces. That was just something new. Hold on. Now I watched this yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Now this doesn't have any of the new stuff in it, but it was kind of interesting. I'm trying to bring things in that make that. Well, that last thing was dumb. Made no sense. So I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on this. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Courtroom Confidential. Some of the stuff that he's put out is really kind of interesting. So I want to get everybody's take on this too. Yes, she was in Charmed. She was also in American Horror Story when they did the Coven one. She was in there too. All right, let's talk about this, guys. Here.
About the hours leading up to the murders. 4 victims: Kaylee Gonzalez, age 21, Madison Mogan, also 21, Zaina Kernodle, age 20, and Ethan Chapin, also 20, spent that Saturday night like many college students do in a small town.
The 5 young women who lived in that property, they were all out and about on the town that evening, November 12th. It was the last home football game for the Idaho Vandals, and Kaylee Gonzalez, she had actually moved out of that house and was down visiting to see her friends and to almost show off her new vehicle, a Range Rover that she had purchased. And they all went out. A few of them went to the football game, and then, as happens in small college towns and communities where there's limited activities outside of maybe school events and so forth, they went out on the town. Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan, the best friends since they were very young, up out of North Idaho. They ended up at a bar called the Corner Club, which is widely known around Moscow and the region, and ended up at a food truck that parks nearby called the Grub Truck. And there's video that was released very early in that showed them there kind of horsing around with friends or whatever briefly while they await their order. And then off they went in some sort of rideshare type pickup, and then got back to the house about 2 a.m. is what we've been told. The other 2 surviving roommates, they also got back in around 2 a.m. They were, I believe, out separately. And then Zaina Kernodle, the other young woman who lived.
How many times has this changed, you guys? See, here's the problem. Sorry to hear that, Candy. Here's one of the problems. Many, many times this has changed now. The 80s were the best.
At the property, and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin. They were at the Sigma Chi fraternity house, which was about 300 yards from this property where they lived, and walked across the field and also made it back by about 2 a.m. We know that not everybody went immediately to sleep. That was actually a point of contention pretty early in. The coroner had said they all died in their sleep, and that turned out not to be true. So some misinformation that got out into the public and had to be corrected through follow-up statements and, again, the probable cause affidavit. And we certainly know they weren't asleep now. Zaina Kernodle was, I believe she ordered takeout food via DoorDash at 4 a.m. about. And so that was dropped off. And then at 4:12 a.m., she, based on data, was still on her TikTok account. And that's, to some extent, how police were constructing the timeline. They, of course, saw a white vehicle. They believe it to be a white Hyundai Elantra in the neighborhood shortly before 4 a.m. and then right after, based on some video footage from a neighbor's home. And then now we have these text messages from the surviving roommates that show that one of them heard what she thought was Kaylee on the 3rd floor, where her bedroom was and where Madison Mogan's bedroom was, playing with her dog. Kaylee shared a dog with her ex-boyfriend who lived around the corner, and she thought she heard noises.
That's the point, Cap. More lies, more bullshit. Why are we told so many lies about this? That's the question. Why have we been told nothing but lies about this whole thing? What is so wrong with the truth in this? Anybody at all? Hey, WB, good to see you guys. Welcome. Good to have you here. This is Allison. This is from a month ago. It's gonna give basics here. That's what I'm talking about. There's some other stuff at the end after. Right now they're just covering the night of the murders. That's all. But this shows you the changes. Okay, what it was to what it is, what it was before, what it was to what it is. It's a mess.
Upstairs that she was playing around with her dog at a certain point and was sort of checking on that. And then she thought she heard crying from the room over, which would have been Xana Kernodle's room, and had repeatedly opened her door to see what was happening. And then the third time she opened her door to explore what was happening in the home, which was a party house, and things happened late. You know, it probably wasn't atypical that there would be loud noises or, people up at least. She reported that she saw someone in all black, a mask over their face and mouth, and walking toward her. Actually, a latest court filing from the defense actually suggests that the individual in the homes who she wasn't familiar with was as close as 3 feet away before she closed the door, locked it, and presumably the individual exited, although she says she doesn't know from what point of the home. We still don't know the entry point or the exit point. I mean, there's a lot of details we still really don't know. And then through these text messages, we learned that the second floor roommate then texted with the downstairs roommate on the first floor. And at some point,
I agree, be real.
shortly thereafter, raced down, and they spent the night together.
As this case has progressed, we've learned new information through unsealed court filings, providing missing pieces of the timeline that help fill in what happened inside that house in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. One of the more significant revelations came in March of 2025 when a February motion filed by prosecutors was unsealed, revealing the text messages exchanged between the surviving roommates.
There's the point, Allison. 3 times things have changed now, she's saying. Has anybody ever seen a case like that ever happen? Ever? Anywhere? Nope. Doesn't happen, folks. A 100% Cap, but guess what? Everything we've seen points to the fact that he's not. That's the problem. That's the problem. I'm with you. If he was guilty, I absolutely just think I want to get him. I want to see him punished. Everything he talks about says he's not. Welcome, Bonnie Bailey. Good to see you, dear. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Wonderful to see you, my love. Thank you for being here. I hope you're feeling okay, Bonnie. Always in my thoughts and prayers, dear.
Identified in court documents by their initials DM and BF. From 422 to 424, the roommates sent the following messages. DM to BF.
I'm with you on that, Tom.
No one is answering. I'm really confused right now. DM to Gonzalez. Kaylee, what's going on? BF to DM. Yeah, dude. WTF. Xana was wearing all black. DM.
I want to know what statement was made right before that, whether it was a phone call or a deleted text message. What was stated right in between there that she said that? There's a couple things missing from this that are driving me nuts on this. I'd like to know what that is.
M to BF. I'm freaking out right now. No, it's like ski mask almost.
And there's another one in between there relating to that ski mask thing. I'd like to see that message or hear that phone call too. I'm curious. Or unless it was all in one. Completely out of place. A WB agreed. And at least they should still have it, yes. But why is it not there? Everything else is there, but why was that redacted? That's 100% right, Kat. Because if this is not the guy that did this and they put him in front of the firing squad, give him the death penalty, that's not justice. That's murder. They just murdered another person. So now there's 5 people that have been murdered and no justice for anybody. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. Why did they say Xana was wearing all black? That's right. And I want to see that other statement. That's something that should be there, you guys. I have a big problem with that. Miss Bonnie, always happy to see you, dear. We miss you when you're not here, and we love you to death.
BF to DM. STFU. Actually, DM to BF, like he had something over his forehead and little and mouth.
Also, if you guys didn't notice that Dylan is leading these text messages through the whole thing. She's basically feeding this information to Bethany, whether Bethany knows what's up or not. Dylan led this whole conversation via the text messages, and she fed this all to Bethany. That's something to remember. I think that's very important, okay? And that's when I started to believe that there's an involvement level with Dylan. Obviously, not the physicality side to it, but there's definitely whether it's a mental or a constructive involvement, absolutely, with Dylan. And I won't let that go at this point.
BF, I'm not kidding. I'm so freaked out. BF to DM, so am I. DM to BF, my phone is going to die. BF to DM, come to my room. Run. Down here. Hours later, we find the following exchange starting at 10:23 a.m., nearly an hour and a half before the now infamous 911 call. DM to Gonzalez, please answer. DM to Mogan, are you up? And finally, DM.
Oh my God, Bonnie, how? Are you kidding me? The measles? I didn't think you could even get that anymore. That's the last thing you need to be dealing with. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Bonnie. Again, you're always in my thoughts and prayers, so I'll be extra hard for you. I promise you. Good Lord, I hope you feel better, hon. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, hon. That's crazy. I didn't know anybody could get the measles anymore. Oh my God, that's crazy. So much for those vaccines. Time to get new ones, I guess, huh? This is a false flag. I don't believe they're dead. They're in witness protection, in my opinion. This case is something bigger. Like Steve G said, he would love to work with Congress to make laws DNA. Huh. Okay. I respect that. That's your absolute opinion, and I do respect it. Pamela Smith, welcome. Measles are back. Oh my God. That's crazy. And again, yeah, that was brought up once, Bobby. I agree with that. Why did they just let go of that and forget about it? It's gone now. They haven't been talked about anymore. That's crazy. I still think she has something there. Oh, okay, Bonnie, I got you on that one. Well, I'm so sorry, and I hope you do okay through it.
To Gonzalez, are you up? As revealing as the messages are, they're just one piece of the puzzle. To really understand this case and why the investigation unfolded the way it did, we have to talk about the house itself. Because this wasn't just any off-campus rental. The layout, the entrances, and even where each person was located that night, all of it played a role in what happened. And in the questions investigators and the public have wrestled with ever since. You realize that the house itself plays a very important role here. First of all, its proximity to the college, I think, is important. The neighborhood in which it's located, there's a lot of other student housing,
Agreed,
like
Tomboy.
homes in that neighborhood, but it's
Bonnie, calamine lotion and Benadryl. Hopefully, you can handle that stuff, and that hopefully would help you. Whatever you're on, hopefully helps. That's crazy.
It's houses, correct? It's houses that have been converted into kind of student living and fraternity homes rather than being built by the college, I guess is what I'm saying. And then the structure of the home itself, that there's several different floors. If you could kind of explain a little bit of that to us, particularly too, because the home has now been destroyed, which is been a very controversial action that was taken. So talk to us a little bit about both of those things, if you could.
My first trip up there, I was so surprised at how central this particular home was to that neighborhood. There was a lot of apartments just to the left of it, and also just below it. It almost sat on a hill to some extent. And it's a couple dead-end streets over there. There's King and Queen Road, and this sat on King, even though it was kind of a flag property. So that was even a little curious. Some people thought it was Queen Road. this home was on. And it being known as a party house, there was like a noise funnel that it created, and it was sent up the hill. It's almost, again, it sat kind of in this plateau, and then there's a valley, or the valley rather, then it would send it up the cliffs. And in the past, people had actually complained about noise issues at that particular home. So that was pretty interesting too, the noise elements that either were at play or could have been at play in this whole thing. It's not on campus. It's not a campus property. But what it is that neighborhood is basically run off to the Greek life. And so after people wrap up either their freshman or sophomore years living in
There's other things in this. This starts off slow, guys, but there's other things I wanted to show you throughout this. So bear with it, please. I apologize.
respective sorority or fraternity houses, a lot of them would tend to move to this neighborhood. The home itself, even in a recent court filing from the state, they talk about how it's an unorthodox
I agree,
property.
unsolved.
And
It
that's,
should
I
have
think,
never
putting
come
it lightly.
down.
It's a very unique.
Especially considering that the models they built for the house, they only built 2 rooms. They built Maddie's room and they built Xana's room. In my opinion, the entire house needs to be built into that to understand everything that went on that night. That's my full opinion on that. Truly, it makes no sense to me as to why just those 2 rooms there. We need to see doorways in and out. We need to see stairwells up and down. And everything there. That was so stupid to take that house down. It makes 0 sense to me. Yeah, and they were supposed to put some kind of a flower garden there, a memorial garden. You see, they've done absolutely nothing with it. Nothing at all. I gotta wonder if they wanted it tore down before the trial for a reason. Think about that for a minute. That's all I'm saying. The gag order, the dis and misinformation, false narratives, propaganda. This case is a tragedy. That's an understatement. Be real. Absolute understatement of the year. 100% Cap. Everything in that house should have been preserved until this trial. 100%. Other than cleaning up some of it for smell purposes and stuff like that. That way the jury could walk into that house and experience the house itself to be able to understand what went on that night. That's my problem with that. Oh, they absolutely did unsolved. They absolutely did. Welcome, Nothing Half-Assed. Thank you for joining us tonight. Great to see you tonight, dear. Appreciate you being
home, or at least it was, where the first
Guys,
floor
please
is
make sure to hit
basically
the
the
like button
walk
when you
from
come
the
in that
driveway.
door so we can hit that
And then
algorithm.
from there, as you walk around the back side, there's a sliding glass door, which is immediately the second floor. And then the third floor had a balcony that had no stairs. And so it was just from that third floor, you could exit a different sliding glass door and you'd be on the balcony and could oversee the neighborhood a little bit from the back side. There's 2 bedrooms on each floor and a bathroom on each floor as well. So 6 bedroom, 3 bathroom. And even establishing in the early days which victim was on which floor, those were still details that even police had wrong. They gave us incorrect information very early in. And we still don't know exactly where everyone was. One of
Hey,
the rooms was
Curious
vacant
Rose,
because
welcome back.
a
Good to
young
see
woman
you
who had
tonight.
previously signed on to the lease never actually moved in. Ultimately, we found out, and I mean, this is kind of, again, the chaos of the whole situation. We learned that Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan were found in the same bed from her father at the memorial. So information like that, key details that I think police were trying to hold back in case they came upon a perpetrator or someone they wanted to interview. Nobody would know that except for police and the individual or individuals they were after. And this was the kind of information that was just seeping out in odd moments, including at a memorial for the students.
I'm guessing you never had an opportunity to actually go inside the home. Is that correct?
I was never in the home. I was up there in
Great point,
a couple weeks
Pamela.
after the incident. We had sent my colleague, Angela, and, it was clearly taped off by police, and I was never previously in that property. But I'll tell you, there's so many people. You'll talk to people all over the state, and they'll say, oh, yeah, I used to party there, or I had my husband used to live there. There's so many people who have come in through that home. It's a private rental that was privately owned. And then ultimately, you talked about it being deconstructed. The owner gave it to the university to decide ultimately what to do with it once police and investigators were done with it. And there was a stipulated agreement between the defense and the prosecution that it was no longer needed. They did all sorts of 3D imaging and had the FBI in repeatedly. And as you said, controversially, the property came down against the desires of 2 or possibly as many as 3 of the families.
The reason I ask is because of some of the curious behavior of the surviving students, and they've come under a lot of criticism, and I think very unfairly. But a lot of people are very confused by the fact that they didn't hear more, the fact that they didn't react differently, that it wasn't until, nearly noon before
fact
they
that
started
they're
making
lying
911
and
calls.
have
And I
lied.
feel like the construction of that home, that there are people living on different floors, may have played a role in that, especially when you start to consider things like you said, acoustics. What could be heard throughout that home? Would you know if someone else was inside that home? And being kind of a party home with people in and out, would that even raise alarms that they heard people at odd hours of the night either coming and going from that home?
They're calling it a dollhouse, Terry, because they built a small version of part of the house to the size of like a dollhouse. That's why they're calling it that, Terry. Hey, JC, good to see you tonight, dear. Again, guys, the link is pinned in the top of the chat. If anybody wants to join me up here tonight as we discuss and move through some of this stuff, I appreciate you very much. Bobby X, good to see you. And I agree. That house should have never came down.
Are you able to lay out who was where in the home as far as we know?
You raised some good questions about the noise and the acoustics of the home, and now with it no longer being there, that won't be available for jurors to walk through if that was something they sought. The trial is obviously now down in Boise, so it's a long trip to get there, even if it was still standing. But to your point, yes. So the surviving roommate on the first floor was in her room. There was no other roommate on the first floor. On the second floor, you had Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, who was staying over for the night. Also on that second floor, you had the other second floor roommate who survived and ultimately stayed the night in the first floor roommate's room. And then upstairs, you had Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves' rooms. And ultimately, those two were found each stabbed to death in Madison Mogan's room.
Understanding the house is critical, but what happened inside the next morning is what's left so many with lingering questions. The surviving girls in the home now realize something is wrong, and they may have realized something was wrong before, but now they're becoming very concerned, and they're starting to call 911. And as you mentioned, the 911 call has been released, and it seems to present even more questions.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of the emergency? 1122. What is the rest of the address? Oh, Kings Road. Okay. And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. The address, 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number that you're calling from? What's your phone number? And tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and I saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. And are you with the patient?
Welcome, Billy. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
What's that? You're saying, what is that yelled in the background during the address? Hold on here.
Understanding the house is critical, but what happened
All right,
inside
hold on. I
the
went
next
back a little
morning
too
is
far.
what's
My
left
apologies.
so many with lingering questions. The surviving girls in the home now realize something is wrong, and they may have realized something was wrong before, but now they're becoming very concerned, and they're starting to call 911. And as you mentioned, the 911 call has been released, and it seems to present even more questions.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of the emergency? 1122.
I'm not 100% sure nothing happened, but there is something in the back where she's yelling, "No, don't!" Something. I don't know what that is. I've tried to catch it through CC's and Outcast. I don't quite understand what they're saying. At some point we will, I think. But hey, Molly, good to see you. Good golly, it's Molly. Good to have you here tonight, dear. Thank you for joining us. Also, welcome JC and Terry to the panel. I appreciate you guys both for joining me. It's great to have you here tonight. Welcome, welcome.
How are you?
I am wonderful.
Thanks, Dago, for letting me up again. Thank you.
Oh, of course. You guys are always welcome.
Yes,
everybody.
thank you, Dago.
Wonderful to have you both. It's okay, Molly. Sweet and salty. Good to see you tonight as well. Thank you guys all for joining me. We're going to be bouncing through a few different things tonight, just for discussion pieces. It'll get better. I promise you.
You always have a good show. You'll be fine.
Oh, Kings Road. Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
Thank you, Terry. Well, here's the point, guys. I know a lot of this stuff is stuff that's already known, but there's other things within that are being, I guess, to reiterate the stuff for discussion pieces to understand part of what we're going to be talking about. That's all.
Cool.
In the house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
It kind of does sound that way, Sweet and salty.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and I saw some man in their house last night. Yeah.
And are you with the patient?
She laughed
I need
when she
someone
said
to
that,
keep
by the way.
phone. Stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened very much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we gotta go check. But we have to.
Welcome, Jason. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining.
She's not waking up.
I think so.
Okay.
I
One
think
moment,
so.
I'm getting
Nothing.
help that way.
Truly. Oh, she did definitely laugh, Molly. And I can actually, even when we listened to Cece's the other night, I slowed it down and froze it at some point. And you know when somebody's talking to you over the phone and they start smiling or like getting that tone in their voice, you can hear it. You can hear the smile on her voice, on her face, and you can hear the tone change where she's like laughing it off like she doesn't believe her or something. Or whatever other reason there is. JC just dropped. Fell out the window. But yeah, you can definitely hear it when it's slowed down and clearer. Absolutely, 100%. And not to mention, for those of you that aren't familiar and didn't hear this before, once this 911 call already happened once. It's almost like they practiced and then went downstairs and dialed 911 6 minutes later. It's unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. Again, explain this anyhow or any way to me how this goes on like this. It's ridiculous. Mind you, that breathing right there, I just to create so people get confused. That's Dylan that's breathing like that while she's holding the phone. Okay, so everybody understands.
There she is.
Welcome back, Jason. And there's a whole lot of whispering, guys. When I was listening to Cece's, I picked up a point where you hear, I'm gonna imagine it's Hunter screams, "Shut the F up," and then there's another point where I can hear him say something in a whispering tone. I don't know who he's talking to, but at least go get the watch off of him, please. So it's obvious that they're seeing Ethan too, in my opinion, but they're not saying anything about him. Does that make any sense to anybody?
No, that's really weird.
It's strange, but I heard it. I played it back. I don't know how many times. Okay. That is what I'm hearing them say. And it showed up on the closed caption stuff too. So I don't get it. None of that makes any sense to me at all. This whole thing, at least go get the watch off him, please. What do you mean at least? Like, that's kind of, I don't even know how to explain what I'm thinking on that. It's crazy though. Wait, like after they cut her and she started bleeding more, he said, I don't know about that, Jason, but he did run in the house and grab a knife before he went even to check on her. I don't know what that's all about either. If you're going to check on somebody that's passed out from drinking, you don't need a knife at all. That should have never happened, but it did. So there's that too.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yeah, 20. Here's one.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Hey, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Now, this is another point too. Somebody stated that this sounds like 2 different males that get on the phone. I want to hear that one more time, but I 100% want to hear that again. And not to mention, in the background, you hear radio traffic coming through this too. For some reason, I think I see 3 or 4 times I hear that, as if there's a radio already standing there, like a portable. I don't know what that's all about either, you guys. And none of that makes any sense either. So couple more points to add to that. And that's a great point too. You don't hear them mention Kaylee or Maddie at all. Not one time for any reason.
Or it still boggles my mind, Dago, that can you hear me okay?
Oh, you sound great tonight. Yes.
It still boggles my mind that they never once mentioned any red stuff.
No, you can say it. Blood. They did. It
That
should
is
be everywhere.
is that not the most insane thing to you?
Amongst others, yes, JC. It's insane. It absolutely makes 0 sense to me whatsoever. It's almost like,
And they were down the way they downplay it, like, oh my gosh, she's passed out and not waking up. Like I just don't get it. Like
no, nobody does. And
I
here's the
don't get
thing.
it. I don't get it.
Even if by some strange alien weird possibility they didn't see any blood, the smell inside that house
Well,
had to
yeah,
have been
that's
absolutely insane, folks. 4 victims after 8 hours. Come on.
I mean, rigor is gonna set in and it's gonna get dried up and
Listen, rigor mortis at some point in some certain circumstances would have could set in and start to go back out of it, and they could start to pose. I've seen that happen. Okay,
yeah.
full rigor mortis. It does take some time, but they can go into rigor mortis.
Like 4 hours.
Yeah, they can go into rigor and then come back out of it, and then the bodies will pose at that point, and that's a long period of time for them to lay there with no treatment, nothing. This is nuts. It's insane.
Like my question is where did those 2 go?
Well, and that's another question.
And what time did they leave the house?
When we went through the text messages, guys, Sarge was like,
Mhm.
why the hell are the phones dead for those 2.5 to 3 hours, whatever that was? And I sat there, I'm like, I don't know. Where there's no text messaging, no nothing going on.
Like from
And then,
4:30 to 7:30 or whatever?
yeah, right. Exactly. So my thought is, knowing that Emily and Hunter shows up, they live right next door. I almost wonder if they left and went over there for those couple hours and sat together with them and said, what the hell are we going to do with this? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe got this whole thing together and then came back and said, okay, we're going to call 911 now. It's time to do that. Because I won't believe, I don't care what you tell me. I don't care what you show me. I don't care what you say. Nobody slept. Nobody slept that night at all, period. And I've heard people say, well, Dylan slept for 9 minutes. What? So at 3:51, she put a contact in her phone, fell asleep, and woke back up at 4? No, she didn't. Stop it. Just stop it. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And anybody that thinks that, come on now. Let's be realistic here. Everything else we've seen and heard is absolute bullshit, folks. We know it is. Stop with the ridiculousness at this point, okay? We see the truth. We're being shown the truth. We're being told the truth. Let's stay with it. Let's stay with the truth at this point and leave that stupid shit alone. 9 minutes, she fell asleep. She's supposedly been drinking all night and she's all messed up. So anybody that has ever drank alcohol, partied, did this, did that, everything else, You tell me one time that you've been partying, drinking, or whatever.
And passed out for 9 minutes
Out
and
for
came
9
back.
minutes?
And
It ain't
came back.
miss me with that bullshit. That's the
No.
dumbest shit I ever heard in
Once
my
I'm
life.
passed out, I'm passed out, bro.
You're done. You're
I'm
done
done.
for 12
For-
hours, guys.
Yeah,
Right.
hours.
100%. Thank you. That's so
I mean,
stupid.
that's just me, but I think it's maybe the majority of people.
Nobody is going to pass out for 9 minutes. And first off, you're not going to, if you're that drunk.
I mean,
You're not getting weird.
unless someone wakes me up.
Oh, well, good luck, because you couldn't wake me up when I was in that mode. If I was as bad as they described her to be, possibly, no way in hell. And not to mention, JC, there's no way she heard anything at that point if she was drunk. That's how I know.
Well, yeah, like.
What was her alibi? Her real alibi?
There isn't one.
There
Terry.
is none.
There's
Because she said she's there.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
she saw him, so she can't really. She said she saw him, so she can't really have an alibi.
That is her alibi. That's it, which is so stupid to me, but okay.
My dad told me that he figured I'd be watching Dateline because there's an episode on it tonight. But I told him, I said, Dad, I guarantee you that episode isn't going to tell me anything that I don't already know.
No, we'll probably cover that tomorrow. Truly,
Yeah.
I can't run it on here because I'll strike it as it while it's live. Unfortunately, otherwise we'd tear it apart because it's going to be garbage. We already know it. But yeah, yeah, agreed, Tomboy. It's about as absurd as all four of them talking upstairs at 2 a.m. and then going to call Grub
Yeah,
Truck.
that's what. Was there a thing about that? About how they were all four, Dylan, Bethany, Kaylee, and Maddie were upstairs when Kaylee and Maddie got home?
According to that, they got home at 1:56.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia said she saw on video. They get out of the car, they go into the house, they get Murphy, they bring him out to walk him.
And then they go back in.
And they go back in the house, and then which would have taken literally a few minutes because they were upstairs by 2 a.m.
Yeah.
According to the judge. All four of them discussing whatever they're discussing. Okay. It was probably a disagreement of some sorts or something. I don't know. That's a guess. But anyway, Xana and Ethan were still not home by 2 a.m. based on that document. They were still not in that house.
I thought they were the first ones home.
No, they were not there. It says blatantly in that document they were not home at this point. That's 2 a.m.
So the first thing that we were told was a lie.
Everything we've been told is a lie, JC.
Well,
everything.
yeah. I mean,
but yes.
Besides everything else, but
so hey Norma, good to see you. So here we go. From 2 a.m. We know they're all in that room having that conversation. 2:10, Dylan contacts Eric Gower and says, "Hey," or Grower, whatever his name is, are you still out driving tonight? Yeah, but mind you, understand this. And I could see him saying sure if he was already, but according to what he stated in his statement, he went, dropped the girls off, and went through the drive-thru at Taco Bell and went home for the night. 1:56 to 2:10. That's not that long. That's about the right amount of time it would take for him to get home. He responds back to Dylan and says, sure. So either he's going to come back out or that's bullshit. Okay. I don't believe it was for going to get food. If it's even remotely true at all, I don't think it's going to get food. But anyway,
because Dylan and Bethany were thinking about going to get food at the Grub Truck, correct?
That's what they're saying. That all four of them were talking about getting more food after.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's 2:10. Then we have around 2:23, I think it is. They start texting Jack Decor insanely, both of them back and forth. Boom, 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 boom.
Maddie and Kaylee.
Yes, all the way up until
2:50 something.
2:56, yeah. And then 2:56. Come on, think. I had this memorized. I can't remember. So from 2:56 on, well, let's see, 3:16 is Xana must be home, or maybe not. That could have happened anywhere, but anyway, 3:16 Xana makes her last TikTok. That's when that was changed to, is 3:16 a.m. Okay,
instead of 4:12.
Yes, instead of 4:12, that had been changed now too.
Oh,
now this is all, mind you, this is all, that document is based off of the grand jury testimonies. What do we know is true? What do we know is not? That's all I'm saying.
Her DoorDash order still got delivered at 4 o'clock, right?
3:59. I was gonna say the
3:59.
DoorDash comes in at 3:59. Trying to make sure I don't miss anything here.
So what happens? Does anything happen between 3:59 and 4:06 or
That's what I
4:08?
was. That's what I was trying to remember. Now, mind you, this whole time there's video of vehicles driving around. What I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, now there's two vehicles that are driving around outside this whole time. One of them is a green Elantra, and the other one is I think it's a BMW. We've come to the conclusion of. Okay, that's the soup can little grumbly little sports car. We're driving around all night long. You hear it in the
Is it
window.
white?
It is white. That is the
Okay.
only white car, in my opinion, that was in that vicinity at that time that night. The green Elantra shows up on this IR video as a lighter color.
So
It's a
that's why they
BMW
think it's
X6.
white.
Thank you. So it could look white, sure. Now, when I was watching earlier, we rewatched the Linda Lane footage. When you see a car pull in, I had my wife come in and look at it too. It does have a darker, more of a grayer color than what a white vehicle would look like. So therefore, in turn, that is the green car, as far as I'm concerned. That's the green Elantra, the one that we've seen when they're tearing down the house that just sits there and goes round and round and parks and backs up, pulls forward, and it's watching the house be tore down. And I know who it belongs to. Okay. And they live right there. So these are the two cars that are driving around that night. Brian Koberger is nowhere to be found.
He's out
Nowhere.
stargazing.
He's not even in the
What-
state. Right. Thank you.
What time did he say he would? Does it say what time he was stargazing at? The times?
It does. I believe it shows a roundabout. I can't think right now of it.
Oh gosh.
I'd have to look it up for you, Jay.
Okay.
Maybe 2 something.
I can't remember exactly, Terry.
Can't either.
I got too many times in my brain right now, but
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Tomorrow it'll change.
of course. Yeah, and the BMW could be. Yeah, you're right. Sweet and salty. It could be a lighter color, but it still shows up that way, right?
Okay, here's my question. Okay, you can barely make out the cars, right? First of all, you're blinded by the headlights.
Well, that car right there, Terry, that's the BMW I'm talking about. That car has a sunroof. And that's the one that has those blinding lights, the one that pulls in and out of the driveway. I'm telling you, that's a BMW. That's not an Elantra.
Okay, so here's my question. Remember hearing that Payne did a sound check of Murphy, whether or not he was inside or outside barking. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just know I heard it. Okay. And then why don't they do a sound check of all the cars?
Well, they don't want to, Terry, in my opinion, because
wouldn't that make sense?
Well, it would prove certain things, but they don't seem to want to do that.
Okay.
I do know who owns the green car. I'm not going to put his name out there because many people have done it and their video gets taken down. So I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm just going to leave it for what it is. We can talk about it another time.
Is it somebody close by?
They live diagonal from in
Okay.
the apartments. They can see his apartment looks at the house. I'll just tell you that.
Is it the pumpkin apartment?
The white apartments where Emily and Hunter were at. Same place that I think that Dylan and Bethany, if they left, probably went.
Okay, but is it the one that had pumpkins?
No. That's the house next door, the other side. That's the 11.
Is the house next door? Is that the neighbor that came over and was talking on the 911 call?
No, that's the house that you're seeing next door. Is
the one from the pumpkins? Oh wait,
yeah.
The people that came talk to him, they're the pumpkin people, right?
No. Hold on.
Okay, so I'm really confused then.
The house you see in the video with the car pulling in and out with the lattice in the front, the pumpkins, that is remember the video where they show
that has a ring camera.
They show one of the girls slicing a watermelon.
Huh? I remember that, but I thought that was at 11:22 on the back.
Say that again, Terry.
I thought that when they had the machete slicing the watermelons, that was at 11:22 on the back on the deck.
No, that was on the front porch of the house next door that the little pumpkins are sitting on.
Okay. Oh,
Is the house blue?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought
I
it
know
Right,
was
where
Miss
you're at.
Haley's house.
right directly next door to them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're standing in front, it's the house to the right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
and the address is 1112. Okay. Now
Yes.
where was I? I just completely lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
They went over the girls went over somewhere.
Yeah, I believe that the green Elantra, you asked me where he lives at. You can
Oh
look
yeah.
from his apartment and look directly at the house angled like this. It's right there. Okay. So again, I think that's the car that we see doing the drive around because it looks darker on those cameras, infrared cameras. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay, and if it was a white car, it would light up. It would be the shading on it would be a lot lighter than what it is. It shows up like a darker gray. That would be green. If you look at the white cars, they look very light gray. Okay. Hey Jennifer, good to see you. Norma Fralin, good to see you. Anybody else that's jumped in here, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you very much.
Okay, so now I have one more question. Okay, so if the green car was close to where they lived, and if you recall when they were tearing the house down, there was a green car that drove by. Would that be weird or odd if he lived right there?
Not really, but the way he sat and stared and watched and backed up and pulled forward, yeah, I think it's a little strange.
Or maybe just because he was watching it get torn
It could
down.
be. It could be,
When they
but
were tearing the house down?
yeah, I can show you that too next if you want.
Wow.
But it's the same car.
Kind of like, what do they call it? Rubberneck? You
Yeah,
know,
rubber.
like if he had slowed, oh, they're tearing that house down. It's kind of exciting. Let's watch.
I mean, it could have been just that he was sitting there watching the action of the house coming down. But the whole point is that's the car we see driving around in the videos.
Yeah.
It stops, it watches, it pulls forward, it backs up. But it's the only one like that. It's that weird, like metallic green. The front license plate is wrapped around the whole bottom bumper. It's the only one that looks that way.
Didn't they say that was a wrap?
Yeah, but I think they proved that it was painted because it was in a car accident. So, yeah, it's literally. Excuse me, I got hiccups. It's literally right next door to the house, to the left of the house. So,
okay.
Oh, sorry. But yeah. Anyway, that's the vehicle, and I believe that's the vehicle that we see that everybody swears up and down is Brian Koberger's car. I think that's what we're seeing. Whether he's delivering, that was talked about too, that he was a delivery driver of sorts for whatever. But that's interesting to me too. That he's out and about driving around back and forth, boom, boom, boom. So if that's the case, he very well possibly could have passed who I believe that the people that did this, I think were on foot. I don't think there was a car involved. He wasn't brought to that scene. I don't think. I think that they came on foot and left on foot. That's my opinion. Or were picked up by somebody. That's again.
That's just the thing is if Brian is, this intelligent criminology
Thank you,
student,
Mikey.
why would you drive your car to the scene if
You
you
would.
could just wouldn't you plan something like more close by?
Yeah, I would think. I would think.
I think that the key word to this is what if, period. What if, why, where, why did they, you know what I mean? It seems like
Dago, I have a question.
If you go out that back slider door, up that back hill to that back parking lot, down through there's a stairwell that goes straight down to across to the next road. Okay. That would be the best way to come and go from that situation, in my opinion. 2, 3
and not
people
be seen.
Yeah, you wouldn't be as conspicuous. Period. And you could kind of just step out and move along with nobody would know where you came from. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my feelings as to how they came and went, if they did. I've always thought that for quite a while.
Dago, I have a question. Do you think as much as we don't think that Brian is, very much involved. Do you think, or involved at all, but do
Right.
you think that there's still a possibility that he could be involved or know something?
I think he knows
Um,
something.
at this point, I think maybe he knows something, which is what got him in the situation, possibly.
Yeah. And
I
they
don't.
and maybe they put it all on him because, I mean, I think if he was in the house at all, which I don't even know if I think that, but if he was, I think that there was more than one person in the house, and I think he was the last one out.
Well, see, I
But
don't
I
even
don't
think.
even know if I think he was in the house at this point.
I don't believe he was in the house at all. Real quick, Cougar 1970. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think Hunter got the knife and went to finish Dana's end. So I don't know that I believe that, Cougar, at all. People have said that they heard a couple different voices in that call, and it could just be the sound. People sound alike sometimes and over the phone and different things. It could be. I don't think so, but I
I
respect
don't
everybody's
believe
feelings.
at noon, with all those people there, I do not think that he went in and got a knife.
Well, when he first got there, they made it sound like he ran up the stairs, went in the kitchen, grabbed a knife for protection purposes as he's going to check on Xana, but
Like he
based
thought
on
that somebody was still in the house?
right, which makes no
Oh
sense because
Lord.
the
Oh Lord,
problem is, well,
no.
see, that goes against everything because what we're told is the call is for somebody passed out from being drunk the night before. So why do you need a knife to go check that person? Unless you're told something
Exactly.
else. Unless you're told something else, which is what we hear at the beginning of the 911 call that somebody was at. See, they had this all jumbled up, confusing, and it's all screwed up. It's all
Mm-hmm.
and that's where all the lies come in my opinion. Okay. And the fakeness of the call. It's ridiculous.
Yet we heard that Dylan walked right over her in the middle of the night.
Dylan, when we saw the text messages between her and Bethany says, "Run down here," whatever. She claims that she goes running by and glances to the left and sees Xana laying on the floor at a glance in the dark.
Wouldn't that wouldn't that trigger something if she was laying on the floor in the middle of the night?
Well, here's my opinion on this. Here's my opinion. Okay. I don't think that's what happened. If this is even remotely true, what I think actually probably happened, if she did do that, I think she yelled over and said, "Hey, hey, is it Dana?" Nobody responded. I think she may have walked over there, said her name a couple more times, and even possibly leaned down and shook her and said, "Dana," and saw the blood and saw the situation and then freaked out and went back down the stairs. That would explain to me why Hunter would go inside and grab a knife because she probably told him that, but they didn't tell anybody else that because she probably thought she would get in trouble
But
for
she
it.
didn't call 911.
Nope.
I just can't. I just
If any of
can't.
that's true, that's what I think happened. And there's no way that at a glance, I'm sorry, I don't believe this. I think people think that it was lit up enough. I don't believe it was, but it could have been. Even if it was, at a glance, running across, that's like a 14-foot length from where
Mm-hmm.
she was to the Xana was laying head to the wall, feet to the door inside her room. How do you glance over and notice who that is? You just could see her clearly. That was Xana. I don't think that's true unless you walked up or got closer to her. Then you could realize it's her. But she didn't say that. Once again, I think she lied about that too. Why? I don't know, but I don't know, guys.
You know what's really sad is that this entire case is based upon what Dylan says.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Think about that for a minute.
It's very sad because
Even Hunter getting
she's
the knife is based upon what Dylan said.
yeah, and she's changed her story and I mean, her story has changed. I don't know if she changed it, but her story kind of changed because she gives this description and then backpedals and then front pedals. You know what I mean? Like she
Mm-hmm.
said I was really drunk and really drives home the fact that she was really drunk
Right.
and then says I saw his eyebrows but then says, I don't know if it was one eyebrow or two, but I know I know his eyebrows were bushy, but I don't know if I saw one eyebrow or two.
The whole
And that to
description
me
is
right there, kind of diminishes her credibility.
Everything she said, JC, diminishes everything. She said she saw a firefighter. She said saw a
In
vacuum
the
cleaner. She said
vacuum.
she saw
Yeah.
one eyebrow. Then she said, I don't know. And then when they show her a lineup, she doesn't have any idea who he is. All of that is bullshit to me. I'm sorry. Because of that reason right there. Okay. That makes none of that makes any sense. None of it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Just really, really messy. It's all messy.
Walt, what the hell are you talking about? Everybody would rather character assassinate everyone else instead of focusing on Brian and his idiotic behavior. What idiotic behavior did he have, Walt? Did you and him hang out the next day or something?
That we know for a fact.
Did you and him have coffee the next day or go out for a drink or something? How do you know what he did? You have no idea what he did, Walt. None. You can believe what you want to believe, and I respect that. But you're basing it off of bullshit facts or bullshit pieces of information. They're not facts. Okay? But I respect what you think. But it's not character assassinating. It's calling out lies that have been told to us. It's calling out shady actions that have been going on. Nobody knows what the hell Brian did the next day except Brian. So
and he went to a doctor's appointment. Don't
Yeah.
we know he went to a doctor's appointment?
A doctor's appointment.
And took a selfie?
He took the selfie. He had the doctor's appointment Tuesday. He went to a hair appointment to get his hair cut, and then he goes back to school to work. So again, you have no idea what Brian did after committing the crime that was committed. That he didn't. We don't even know that he committed it. So that makes no sense.
The only thing that puts him at the crime scene is the DNA, but that is also up for question.
I don't even believe that anymore because when
his phone was turned off. I mean, he does have some evidence against him, yes, but everyone could have some evidence against him. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, JC. Let me ask you a question about the DNA on the sheath, right?
Mm-hmm.
They sent a swab.
I know.
They didn't send the sheath, so I don't know what they swabbed. You don't know what they swabbed. They say they swabbed the sheath.
They swabbed the button, apparently.
That's what they tell us.
But there was also haven't they also said that there's 2 other sources on the sheath? So why not look at those? I mean,
they didn't need to. That's not who they wanted to be responsible
yeah,
for the
crime. There's so many things that just. I mean, I was like, when they came out and said, "Oh my gosh, his DNA is on the knife sheath," I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this guy is way guilty." And then they're, doing his search history and stuff like that. But I mean, that you still have to prove stuff. And when you tell the half truth and not the whole truth, it's like, why?
Exactly.
Well, one thing I was thinking is that what I was saying last night is that on Dateline they said that they're trying to tell people that watch, mainstream media that Brian's guilty.
You want to know what else they're doing by doing that, Dago?
They're feeding the propaganda train.
They're tainting a jury pool.
100%. And I do believe, with all due respect, the Steve Gonsalves World Tour, that was all about tainting the jury as well. That's my opinion. And I don't mean it with any disrespect, but I absolutely do believe that at this point, after what I've seen.
I've been given everybody the benefit of the doubt for a long, for everything. But now when I listen to him talk, it's like, Steve, like, get it together, man. Like, you need to start asking more questions and not just going with what we're saying, because
You're
you
putting out
now know, because the public now knows that we were lied to. So if I was a family member, if I was Steve, I'd be asking a whole lot more questions.
And he should be with everything else that's been shown now. And he's absolutely defending the two other roommates with everything that he sees now that was going on there. I would be at least asking questions, but he doesn't. He just
But he's
defends.
not.
Right. Thank you, Satiris. Welcome. It's great to see you here. And Walt, where's it at? Amazon released the records that showed he hit the buy it now button on the knife, and Walt, where do you think Dateline got their information at?
Has anybody watched tonight?
Do you think that a detective sat down with Dateline executives and said, "This is what happened"? Because that's not how that went. They don't do that. Law enforcement will not sit down with any of these mainstream people and give them information. I mean, I'm sure there's been leaked stuff, but that's not what happened. Okay, this is all coming from us out here and other pieces of information. That's where Dateline gets their shit. It's ridiculous. So for you to believe what they're saying, you got to question yourself. Sorry, Terry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine.
If you guys can't tell, I'm so irritated. I am beyond irritated with absolutely all of this bullshit that has gone on. And it's just getting worse every day. It's insane, the things that are being stated and said. Listen, if Brian Koberger did this and they prove this somehow, then hang the dude. Let's do it. I'll do it with you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But at this point, guys, everything I've seen points the exact opposite direction of this kid.
Along with the fact that he went to the doctors the next day, he is slightly maybe autistic, which that doesn't mean you can't commit a crime.
Well, he's absolutely autistic. He's also ADHD, and he's also OCD. All three of those.
But the thing that gets me is he has dyspraxia.
That too. These are all true diagnoses.
That is a number one thing for me, because it would take a lot of strength to do something 54 times to one person and then go to the next person and do it another however many times, and then the next person 4 times, and in having dyspraxia. Like, I don't know if it's A, possible, and B, if it was, he may have to go to the ER or something, because he's so like
I would think.
you know what I mean? Like
overexerted.
Yeah, I would almost drive myself to the ER after doing that because of exertion and stuff. Like, I'd think I was having a heart attack.
Right. Like I said, there's too many red flags that point away from him.
In that amount of time. I mean, he had, what, 13 minutes or 12 minutes to do it?
I don't even think it was that long, JC. They've changed the time so many
I
times. I've heard
know,
7, 9, 13, 15. Yeah, all of that.
When did you say that he supposedly went and got his haircut?
It was within a couple days of the crime.
Okay.
And again, if this man did this,
and even if it was Tuesday and he got a haircut, don't you think the hairstylist would have noticed something on him?
Yeah, along with his doctor.
The doctor or the hairstylist should have noticed something on him and like questioned it. Now, I don't know if they would think, "Oh my gosh, you unalived 4 people," but they'd be like, and I don't know if you would go as far to like report it, maybe not to the extreme as reporting it to law enforcement, because you wouldn't think that, but you would question it yourself. And then when he did get arrested, you would come as a professional, you would come forward to law enforcement and say, "Hey."
Yeah.
But
and
has
I know
that happened?
And if they did we know that there wasn't an investigation done, but whatever form of an investigation was, they should have questioned the doctor, the barber, the people at his job, because he went back to work too.
Would HIPAA have had something to do maybe with the doctor?
What?
Would HIPAA have anything to do with the doctor?
Not in a murder investigation.
Okay.
No, they have to hand over that kind of information.
Yeah, aren't they like required reporters or something like that? Yeah, because if you go into the doctor and you are SA'd, don't they call the police?
Oh, yeah. They have to
Yeah,
do that.
because
They're
I worked
mandated
at a
reporters.
hospital. I worked at a hospital for a little bit, and the police came in a couple times.
Right.
So there's that.
And here's the thing: if I see there's things being stated, okay, even if Brian did buy the knife, there's been no receipt shown. And again, I don't care. If he bought the knife, he bought the knife. It's hard to believe that it could have been stolen from him. He could have sold it to somebody. I mean, it could have been in his car. He could have given somebody a ride. They took it. If he bought the knife, he bought the knife. I don't care about that. And I don't care.
They still have to prove that it went to his house and he had it in his possession at the time of the crime.
100%. Then the DNA that's on it is so minuscule. So minuscule. It's a joke. It doesn't even, if it was on there, like Eddie said before, Eddie doesn't even believe that the DNA was on that sheet at this point. Because again, they sent a swab. Guys, for all we know, and excuse the phrase, but they could have swabbed his asshole for all we know to get the DNA, okay? That doesn't, we don't know that they swabbed the sheets. Come on now.
Right.
That's their word against what? With everything else we've seen at this point, I don't trust anything with this. It's ridiculous. Okay?
Right.
Did the car speeding off look sped up to you? Not really. No, it didn't. My knowledge of tires and vehicle leans to taking the turn and speed would have looked differently. Agreed. You're right. These things are all, in my opinion, being fabricated to fit this narrative to make this story go through. Period. And that's all I'm saying, guys. This is absolutely insane. This is such stupidity. And again,
I just try not to think
there's
about
no
it a
motive.
lot because I know I'm just going to get ticked off immediately.
For what?
Whenever I think about this whole thing,
Oh yeah, it sets you off.
I just get so mad so quick.
And he didn't act any kind of a way after these crimes were committed. He didn't do anything insane. He didn't do anything crazy. He didn't act any differently than Brian Koberger ever acted. He wasn't an incel. He didn't hate women. Everything that has been created from the day that Brian, from December 29th of 2022 until today, as we sit here speak, has been nothing but negative guilt propaganda to make everybody on the planet believe that this man did this crime. And none of it makes any sense. None of it. It's I'm gonna say about 87% of this has been proven to be bullshit and wrong. Welcome, Gian Gambino. Good to see you. Love your name. So again, they've thrown things in our face and said, here, look at this, and this. They gave us a probable cause affidavit that is absolute toilet paper at this point. There's nothing in it that is true except for the date on it. And we're supposed to just go with that and say this kid did this and commit murder, basically, by putting him in front of the firing squad.
And give him the DP, yeah.
You know, not that I want to send anyone to Pascal, but if anybody gets a chance, watch his latest video. I got kicked off, but oh well. Because I said, can you please?
I can't believe that he did that video. I saw the title to it. It's just as bad as what Daniel did. That's disgusting.
Oh, it's worse than what Daniel did. It's horrible.
They put a video up with him in the stupid black hoodie saying he was going to do it again. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break.
Well, no matter what, the guy's life is over as he knows it.
Well, yeah, or he's going to be a millionaire. That's all.
I was going to say, if it comes out the way in favor of him, he's going to be he's not going to have to worry about getting a job because.
But he might have to worry about his life.
He'll have to worry about his life, absolutely.
And that's what I'm worried about, is that if they can prove that he didn't do it, if they do prove that he didn't do it and he didn't do it, they're going to have to protect him for a while, because there's going to be people out there that are going to go insane thinking he did this. No matter what anybody says, there's crazy people out here. They're going to go after him.
And even his family. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, even his family is in danger.
I agree. And no, Raquel, I'm done with it. I'm sick of it. I'm just way over all this stupid shit. And yeah, I agree, JC. His family, I feel so bad for them. I really do. They didn't
You
ask
want to
for
know
this.
what if Brian did this, which I don't think he did, I want to know how much his dad knows.
That's a good question. I've wondered that myself. Does his dad know if he did it? Now, also, we've been told that his family wants to be there to support him. We've also been they've even used his family to put the propaganda and the bullshit out, saying that they turned him in, that his sister even wanted to know what he did. Shut up. That's so stupid.
I will say that it is odd that he was in gloves cleaning at 2:00 in the morning or whatever when they went to arrest
I
him.
was told that that's not true the way that they explained that.
But I mean, if it's true, that is odd. But
Well, that's also, if it is true, that explains OCD.
that's true.
Okay, I have OCD. I don't go that far, but I am very, very, very strange with certain things about dirtiness, organization, cleanliness, smells, touching certain things. I have some of those issues. Not as extreme as that, if that's true, but I've heard that was completely debunked and that's not true.
Well, if I was
Yeah.
going through the trash, I'd want gloves on.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
of course you would.
And also the vegan thing. I mean, I guess some people can be extreme with it, and I guess he was one of them, but it doesn't mean that he,
Well, and that's part of the problem, is everything we've heard about him has all been put out there based on hearsay and also based on negativity.
about his vegan, about his OCD,
Right.
about his
That he
things
looks
that
weird.
are against him
Pascal said that he's such a weird looking
and makes
guy.
him look
Creepy.
weird.
Because he was in the midst of being transferred, Walt, and he had to wait a few days. Once he got transferred to the new jail, he had to wait a few days to get all his toilet paper, his razor, and all the other stuff back. That's why he looked like that. There's a period of time you have to wait when you go from jail to jail. You can't take your stuff with you. You have to start again, and you have to wait and be processed, which takes 24, 48 hours or something like that. Maybe a little longer. I can't remember. But again, he had to wait till he could shave and stuff like that. That's how that works. Okay. That would be why. That's the only reason why, because every time he's ever been seen, he's very clean shaven. Period.
He looks very nice in court.
Every time.
I mean, I'm just saying. The first time I seen him in court, I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like this guy looks like he looks like he has money. He's well dressed. He's well cleaned. He looks good."
Very much so. Very much so. Like I said, the first time I saw him, he looked like he worked for the FBI. What are you talking about, Tomboy? That's not how that works. What? Which thing? I know. No. That's not what I'm saying. From what I know of people moving from jail to jail, you don't get any of that stuff as soon as you walk in the door. You have to wait till you're processed, given your jail or your cell, and I believe there was a period of time before it was transferred. That's my understanding. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. I'm just explaining what I was told, what I understood, and what I saw with some other situations. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that would explain that, is what I'm saying, if that's what the deal was. Just because he grew a beard for a couple of days, that doesn't mean he's not OCD. I grow a beard. I'm unshaven from time to time. It is what it is. The commissary would be there, but you're not allowed to use it. There has to be processing time. That I know for a fact.
Yeah. And sometimes I think the
processed in.
processing can take a while.
It takes 2 to 3 days, from my understanding, from what I know personally, is what I'm saying. County to county, it doesn't matter. You're still going from one facility to the next. They have to process all your paperwork and all this and that, everything else. That's exactly how I understand it. That may not be why he had a
and you're
beard.
literally in holding.
Yeah. Or they keep you in general not general. They couldn't put him in general pop because of who he was, but they give you a roll, toothpaste, and a razor, and something else when you first go into county.
I hope that they.
I understand that you have to be processed before you get all your personal stuff and before you can use your commissary stuff. It takes days before you can get that transferred over and have everything processed. That's my understanding.
And I hope that they watch you shave. I mean, I hope they don't just give somebody a razor.
They're safety razors. They don't, you can't, I mean, I know people done things with them, but from my understanding, they use safety razors. I don't know what that consists of. I've been told.
That's weird.
But I've also seen in jails where they'll take those apart and make
Yeah, I mean, it's a
shoes
blade.
out of them. Right.
Yeah,
That's true too. What Alicia just said, that having OCD doesn't mean that you're automatically a clean person. Everybody has different versions of it. That's a thing. So
I never once thought I had OCD. If you would look at my room and the way I live, I mean, no, you would not think I have OCD. However, when I was a checker at Walmart, I separated everything into, they almost like got mad at me for like bagging too separately. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how they want you to like keep everything separate. Well, I would only put like I would double bag everything. I definitely became having OCD with my bagging skills at Walmart. I mean, and I'm not an OCD person at all. In life, I'm not OCD at all. At my jobs, I am absolutely. I want to be perfect.
Right. No, I get it. I get it. I'm like I said, my placemats that are on our table have to be corner to corner. They have to fit perfect. They have to be straight. My furniture has to be sat in the living room a certain angle because I'm uncomfortable with it otherwise. When your shoes are, people have shoes by their front door or wherever, certain places, they have to be stacked side by side neatly. I mean, all of that kind of stuff is what bothers me.
Yeah.
So there's many, many different versions of OCD, folks.
Oh yes, I watched the CBL on bagging several times.
Okay. On we go. Let's see here.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20 here.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
You need to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them. They need you to talk to them.
Hello. Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If they're
Where's the sirens at in the background, by the way?
There aren't any.
None. That's interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have the 911 caller talk to the policeman or the whoever came.
What'd you say, Terry?
That they don't have the 911 caller talk to the person that came.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's normal, but in my opinion, you would think you'd want to say, "You're there, you got it, okay."
No, typically what happens is if you're on the line and we show up, okay, they hang up with you now that they're there so that you can deal with that person. The point is that doesn't even matter. I still don't understand why I'm hearing radio traffic all through that whole call. Like somebody was already there. It's so strange.
Yeah, you're hearing chatter.
Mm-hmm. So just saying. But the whole time they're in and out of that house twice. There's no sirens in the background, and they're right there. She heard her say they rolled the ambulance on this. The ambulance should have definitely rolled with sirens. They
I just
didn't.
want to know why Dylan said she was really drunk last night. Did she talk to her?
She doesn't know that. Other than knowing what they were doing the night before, it was a assumption, in my opinion.
But it was
It,
like a
it could have
drug
been
area.
true. Right.
So I would think that somewhere in that conversation, Narcon would have been mentioned.
I would think so. Yeah.
Even if
And
she said
my
they didn't
question
know.
is, they said they were all really drunk.
Right.
Was this an every weekend occasion, or was
Well, they
this?
were drunk the night before. There was 100 people in that house partying the night before.
Yeah,
So
was this a recurring like, did they get that drunk all the time, like every weekend, or
probably.
maybe just like once a month? Did they?
It was probably. It didn't have to just be the weekends, JC. It was probably all week long. Okay. When I used to go hang out at the Ohio State University campus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Every
That
night of the week,
every night.
people
Every
were.
night. And the weekends were insane.
Well, these
The
kids
weekends were
were on
worse,
the
but it
dean's
did
list.
happen
There's
every
no way
every
they were
night.
getting drunk every night of the week.
What'd you say, Terry?
If these girls were on the dean's list, there's no way that they were getting that drunk every night of the
Probably
week.
not. But here, remember something though. Hey Vin, welcome. How many times did we see body cam where they'd go to the house and the people that lived in the house weren't there, but a bunch of other people were?
Right.
Okay. That don't
There
even
was
live
a
there
lot of people at that house all the time.
all the time. Always. That was the house. That was the house to go to. OSU had a couple houses like that to go. That was the place to be. That's where you could go get your acid or your weed or whatever you wanted to get. You could go to that place and get it. Or there was another house that had it. The drinking, the cake parties were at a different place. All the girls would hang out at one specific place, so we would pass through there too. I mean, that's just every campus has its own place like
Yeah,
that.
like
You know
we
what I mean?
didn't, like, not saying that we did any like narcotics or anything when we were in college, or at least I didn't, but
Oh, I did.
um but now as far as like the party houses go, yeah, there was a few, like every year there'd be a place to go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I remember one year I went to my friend Rhett's house. One year I went to my friend. We stayed at our house my cousin's house one year. Like,
Right.
but there was, the groups of people gathered at one house. There might have
Yep.
been a few groups, but they all met at one house.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the frats had their places, the sororities had their places, then they would all have other places where they would all go together. I mean, it's like Alicia said, it's college. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like during football, like when the boys couldn't go to the bars, like we went to the houses. Now after football, we all gathered at the bars.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Well, like the one bar in town, but
I just don't see that they were on the dean's list of making such great grades and they were getting wasted every night of the week.
it's possible. I've seen people do it.
When you have 100 people plus in a house, okay, there's interviews that were done with people when they asked specific people, were there drugs in that house? So the answer was absolutely.
Yet no Narcon asked.
Right. Thank you so much, WB. Thanks. We're not pulling the wool over my eyes either. Gotcha. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate you. There was another question asked, were there drugs ever sold out of that house? Absolutely. Okay, it's not a big deal, folks. It's not like it's don't say it. That's normal. Okay, it's a normal thing to happen, especially nowadays.
Exactly.
I don't know how many documentaries and how many news segments I've watched of these giant drug busts that have happened on multiple college campuses. Multiple. Okay, it's a normal thing per se, as abnormal as it is. But I mean, it's not hard to believe, and like the guy said, when they asked if you knew who the dealers were, it's not like that though. It's like they just have the stuff and they sell it to you. They're your friends though. It's not like what you would see like in the movies, like, oh, we got to go to the dealer and get our stuff and blah blah blah. No, it's just everybody has what they have, and
Yeah.
they give it to each other and sell it to each other and stuff like that. It's just the way it is. It's
For
not like this whole
instance,
thing.
I think my brother might have had a friend that was a seller, but never did it. He just sold it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
There's people like that too. I mean,
Of course.
and the other, and here's the thing, and I think, Dago, that we are on the same page with this. In fact, I probably know we are. I if the it's okay if people think that Brian did this. I'm fine with that. But
Absolutely.
I just want it to be proved and proved in the right way.
And that's all I'm saying too. And the
Yeah.
truth of it
And
needs to
that's
be
all
there.
Willie's saying too. I mean,
That's
that's
all
all.
any of us have been saying. That's what this channel is about. Is
I just want them to answer the questions and answer them correctly and
not lie on the stand.
100%, 100%. Agreed. Thank you so much, Satirius. God bless. And no worries at all. Never worried about that. I appreciate that so very much. But yeah, guys, it's not about. I don't care if Brian did it or didn't do it. Okay, but if he did,
if he did, I just want it to be proved.
it needs to be proven,
And
and
the
it needs to
questions to
be
be answered. And
right,
honestly.
and it needs to be done the right way. That's the whole thing right there. Not this
Yeah.
bullshit that we've been seeing. And if he didn't do it, then they need to prove that he didn't do it, because he's sitting in jail right now, getting ready to be executed for it.
Well,
if he has
didn't
proven
do
to
it,
do it.
then there's a murder on the loose.
Well, or more. And that's another
One or
thing
more.
that's been
Yeah.
brought out, that they're saying more than one person, more than one source has stated that this was 2 or more people, that there was more than one weapon. These things have been stated more than once, guys. And it
Well,
makes
yeah, because now they're saying that they don't even know if it was a K-bar.
100%. Just because they found that stupid sheath, they automatically believed, and I've said this for a couple years, Jason, you've been around, you know this, that just because they found the sheath, that doesn't mean that was the weapon. They didn't find a weapon. They didn't kill anybody with a sheath.
And that's a huge problem.
Exactly.
But why did they say it was a K-bar if they didn't know?
Well, because
they wanted to paint something,
that's
and now
exactly
they have
what it was.
and now they have to backpedal.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
They wanted a warrant.
That's basically what it is. They had to get a warrant. They had to get this man in custody. End of story. They did what they had to do that. And now that all of this has come out, the process that took place for them to do this, that's what's being challenged by everybody that has read through and watched this all happen. And now everybody's going, okay, did you guys just not even look at the Constitution when you wrote this?
That's what Ann Taylor is for.
100%. And
I thought she was crazy. Like when she was assigned to this, and she said all this stuff. I'm like, Ann, you are, in the beginning, I was like, Ann, you are absolutely a crazy person, and any defense attorney is a crazy person. And now I'm like, whoa.
And how many other? That's the thing. We've seen.
They are needed for a reason.
Of course, we've seen Delphi. We've seen Karen Reed's situation. We've seen many, many others. The statistics are ridiculous of people that are sitting in prison that are absolutely 100% innocent, folks. The justice system is broke. There's no two ways about that.
Okay, so that brings back a good question. Okay, so when we first heard about this, right, we were all appalled and what a horrible, horrible thing.
Of course.
Which we still are. I'm not saying we're not. I'm just saying, if you put yourself back into that situation of how you felt, and then all of a sudden they get Brian Koberger out of nowhere, nobody really knew, but we were all like, oh my God, they finally got him. Thank God they got because we believed they got the right person, because we trusted in the system.
Because that's how we're programmed. You're right.
Exactly. Now, put yourself into, now that we've gone over this, for almost 3 years, the YouTubers, the social media society, all, true crime, all that. Now we're like, wait a minute, things aren't adding up. This is not happening. No, that's a lie. And not many people are watching Dateline. People are watching Pasco. People are watching Daniel, people are watching things that is saying he is absolutely the one. They have their man. And
Right.
this is why. And that's what they're doing. Just like you said, JC, they're tainting the jury.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Isabel. Pathology will know if the K-bar was utilized. And I hope that they're able to prove that or disprove that and or prove or disprove what weapons were truly used. I would love to see that because I think that's so important too. And thank you so much for the super chat, Isabel. God bless.
Well,
Yeah,
and it's
I agree with
amazing. It's amazing what IGG is doing and helping solve a lot of cases now, but it's also equally terrifying
Oh, of course it is.
because now it's like,
For this reason right here.
yeah, because like I could touch something and then Dago could go touch something and then Dago could go commit a crime and then my DNA is there and Dago's DNA is there, and now we're both and well, say Dago didn't even go commit the crime. Dago touched something else, and then somebody else touched it, and then somebody else went and committed the crime, and then
Well, just like that
you know,
paramedic situation where I never remember his name, but the guy that committed a crime was taken to the hospital, touched the cotton. It was something. Oh, is the pulse
the
oximeter thing that goes on your finger. Put his finger in that, and then somebody else did, and ended up with his DNA on him, and so on and so forth. And the wrong guy was convicted of this
yeah,
because of that. That's how easy that can happen, you guys. That scares the shit out of me.
yeah,
Think
it's
about
terrifying.
how many pieces of change, in money that you touch a day.
How many people's hands do you shake? How many people do you high five or brush against or touch a shopping cart? All of that, Terry. You're absolutely right. It's insanely scary to me. I don't want to
You
touch
see us all
anything.
walking around with our arms and hands up from now on.
And maybe that's why Brian likes to wear gloves. Think about it. Do you know what I mean? He is in line.
Not a bad idea. I might
Maybe
start
he
doing
knew
it
all
too.
this.
100%. And look where he ended up at. That's all I'm saying. Like he knows these things. So here we are. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. As scary as that is, I have to say that I am beyond grateful for Othram. They have solved so many cold cases, guys.
Mhm.
It's absolutely insane. And it's amazing that we have the technology, the ability, and the way know how to do that. Okay.
Yep.
But at the same time,
It's terrifying for us
the other
innocent
side
ones
of
out
it,
here.
yes, the other side is terrifying. It really, really is. So,
Oh my God. So oh my God, that just freaked me out, Dago. So a person they had their finger, did they go to jail?
they were convicted of the crime.
Oh my
The other,
God.
the other guy wasn't.
How'd they figure it out?
Well, the guy obviously claimed he was innocent. They went through the whole scenario. I believe he was convicted and spent a little bit of time in prison before they flipped it, but still, it happened. I'm gonna have to pull that up one of these days and go through that with you guys. It's absolutely insane the way that happened. It really is. But that's proof. In this case, transfer or touch DNA, whatever you want to call it, it can happen that easy. You can brush against somebody, and you know what I mean. And for as much DNA as they said was on the sheath, it's such a minuscule. It's like the tip of a needle, folks. That much. Okay, but there was 2 other DNAs on this thing that absolutely.
That's what makes me the most mad about everything in this case.
I can agree.
Is that they know this. They know that there is 2 other sources.
That they never even remotely tried to test. They didn't even run that through CODIS. They didn't try. They didn't even think about doing it.
Who's responsible for
the forensics and the detective
But
and
who's
everybody in Charles.
responsible for getting it to them?
Forensics. That's who collects it. That's who cleans all that stuff up and sends it over. And they did their job. They did their job, but they didn't want to go any further with it.
Or pain.
What'd you say?
Or pain.
I was gonna say.
Well, he's part of that process. He's not part of the collecting process. He's just the one that's oversees everything.
Everything.
But at the same time, when it's all brought to you, you have to do, your job, whatever. They didn't need to. They stopped right there when they got their guy. They were done, and they didn't go any further ahead. Why? What wouldn't you want to know if there were other people involved?
Why didn't they check that DNA before they even went after Brian? Because I mean, they didn't put Brian's. They didn't even, according to Payne, they didn't even hear about Brian until what, the 18th or something, the 17th, 18th, 19th.
17th, I think.
19th,
17th or
Okay.
19th. I know it's an odd number.
Yeah,
It was the 19th, I believe.
but they had not put any of that into CODIS. Am I correct?
Hold on. They didn't put any of what in Dakotas?
Any of the DNA? I mean, there had to be. Didn't they say they found other?
No, they didn't. They didn't run any of the extra DNA. They didn't run any of that through CODIS or nothing. They didn't try to. They didn't even think about it per se.
Okay, so they held on to that, but they waited till they got Brian's, and then they didn't want to lose Brian's, so they decided just to not put the others in there.
Per se.
Makes sense.
That's when everybody started saying, "Wait, like that's how this looks like a frame job, folks, or a scam." That's why it looks that way, because of things like that.
And that isn't even a rumor. I mean, it's odd and horrid. I mean, it's like that. No, that's unbelievable. No way would I ever believe that. But we heard Payne say it on the stand.
Yep. And here's one more thing. I say this all the time now because I truly believe this. Ann Taylor and the rest, Eliza Massas, and the rest of that defense team, but namely Ann, is not going to put somebody on the stand and ask a question without knowing the answer first. That is truly my belief at this point. And everything she did, she knew what the answer was going to be when she had Payne and everybody else she talked to at that point. She already knew what was going to come from that, okay? She did it for a reason. And that's what she's going to continue to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That is the way she does things, guys. That's what we've seen. So she already knew the answer she was going to get because she had that information, or their lack of, okay? This is insane.
I'm very curious to see how Mundy's machinery is involved in this. And the reason I ask that or say that is because she made a point to ask Payne if he knew where that was. And he said no. Of course he knows where that is, okay?
Well, if he lives in that area and works in that area, he absolutely does. So that's just a blatant lie.
Right. And so she asked, I mean, she could have asked about anything. She asked about that. And then she said, we'll get back to that later. And I think what she's doing is she's slowly building her case. And people say she's doing it slowly, but she also lives in freaking Idaho. I mean, if you jump to, you know what I mean? You kind of have to make sure you move in the rate that it's not going to cause too much alarm, where they drop 15 more breadcrumbs to make that crumble.
This isn't LA, folks. This isn't Chicago. This is a small town where anybody that is anybody knows where everything is, especially law enforcement. They know who you are by your first and last name.
Yeah.
They know where you live. I mean, he knows where all these places are. He answered those questions a specific type of way for a reason, in my opinion. Just like he said, I don't recall many times. Like he said, I don't know many times. There's reasons for that. He came to the hearing absolutely with nothing. And he knew ahead of time that he had to be there for these things, but had nothing. There's a reason for that, in my opinion, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, you're 100% right. I couldn't agree with you 100% less.
Oh, that's what I mean. And like I said, I don't understand how people that think he's guilty come to that conclusion anymore. How does anybody that thinks he's guilty think he did it? Because everything that was in that PCA that pointed to him has been tossed. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And all they have, and this came from the prosecutor himself, Mr. Bill Thompson, stated that the only thing they have that connects him to this thing at all is that little minuscule
DNA.
head of a needle DNA that's on that sheet. That's it.
Oh, here's something that was kind of I got a chuckle out of.
What do
when-
you think is going through Bill Thompson's mind right now?
Truly,
Well-
I think he's somewhat in panic mode because I think I can see the defense crumbling. And I do see it. I see it happening as we speak. Okay. And I think that's what all this other stuff is coming out for now on the other side to to try to rebuild their stature in the case, in my opinion. That's
Yeah.
all.
No, what I was going to say is something that somebody wrote in the chat in Pascal's show is that Brian's a jogger and he's been to 2 pool parties and he's so white. And I'm like, let's see. When exactly of the year are we talking about?
I know plenty of people that two of my twins are white, like clear. I tell them they're clear all the time. And my granddaughter's father works on a roof every day of his life throughout the whole summer and still is white.
And still doesn't get tan?
No, he stays white. That means nothing. That's
But it
ridiculous.
wouldn't matter whether he was supposed to be tan or not. The pool parties would have been in the summer, and we're in December, right?
November, but yeah.
Same
thing.
No, it had to be December when they had pictures of him. Oh, I
Right.
guess I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, you're right, because this was supposed to be the day of or the day after. But still, it was freezing cold that night. Am I correct?
I would imagine it was pretty cold. Yeah.
Yeah, they said. I mean, it was so cold the door opened.
Yeah. It was cold.
So I doubt very seriously he was tanning and or lying out at a pool. So yeah,
No.
it probably was white.
And he's not even that white though. That's the thing. Is that photograph that we see where he's doing this? I'm telling you guys, that was Photoshop. That dude is not that white because when we saw him arrested, and I showed the pictures already, he does have a bit of a tan color to his skin, a little bit, not much. He's not
Oh,
clear
I'm
like
talking
that.
about the new one where he's in the black.
The hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's another one that I think they photoshopped to make it look like that. Truly, that dude is not that color. I put those up. I'll show you once again. I don't think you were in here yet, Terry, but I'll show you again. Oh, where's it at?
Let me see this.
Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at?
I'm sorry, but you guys, you have to go watch. It'll make you want to cry.
I'm gonna watch it.
You
What,
will want to cry.
The Dateline thing?
No, I'm talking about what's his face Pascal put up this afternoon, right?
Oh, that Don't Fear the Reaper thing?
Yes.
That's insane. That's absolutely disgraceful.
I would have to say that's the most disgraceful video that I have seen since this entire crime.
Oh, I agree. I agree. That's disgusting. And shoot, hold on a minute, guys. Give me 1 sec. Sorry about that. I think that's why this hit piece went out. And by the way, gag order. Right. Good question. Good question. Good statement too. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm trying to find. Somebody sent me those pictures side by side. I'm trying to find it back in here.
I don't even watch the show, and I just happened to watch it today, and I'm like, oh my god.
All right. Well, I'll show you this one again first and foremost. But okay. Hey, look at this. This was the day he was arrested, right? He's not that white, guys. Look at him. You can tell that was photoshopped. Both of those were photoshopped, but he's not that white in that picture. So there's that one, and then I have the side by side of him with the God. Which
Him
one are
as
you guys?
the Reaper. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I have
really?
that one and the one with side by side with him in his orange scrubs.
Mhm.
I just can't find who sent it to me and where it is now. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Where did it go? Where did it go? I pulled it up at the very beginning of the show, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to. Is it this one? No. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. Huh, yeah, I forgot that picture too. Let me see here. Let me see here. I don't know why I can't find it. Welcome, Just Beth. Good to see you. Where the hell is that picture?
What's going on in the chat?
I can't see it right now, so I'm trusting the mods got it. Tomboy didn't send it to me. She sent me the other one. Let me see here. Show.
Is everything okay? Tinsel and WB?
The mod's still in here. Yes, yes. That's exactly what we're talking about, WB.
Yeah. And calling him the Reaper.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
And bringing in some girl that he had gone on one date with or something.
And she didn't go. She did not go on the date with him because she thought he was weird. She didn't go on the date with him because she said the universe got in the way and they just weren't able to get back together with each other.
Yeah, whatever. The fact of the matter is, so what? They weren't, I mean, they didn't go on a second date. Uh-oh, he's a murderer.
It's just stupid. Absolutely. I can't find it right now, you guys. I don't know how the hell I ended up with it, but that's funny, Tomboy. I will. I'll be able to get it back at some point. No,
Oh
everything
my
is
God.
fine. Yeah, that's too funny, Tomboy.
I love it.
Oh my God. What a mess. But anyway, it's listen, guys, even if we don't look at it, the fact is it's evident that the photos have been shopped, okay? They turned down the hue or whatever on it to make them look lighter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's evident when you look at it. It's just stupid to believe that it's not. And then the same thing they did with the new one, the hoodie, which I told everybody today when that was first. Mama Bear showed that to me this morning, and I was like, "Oh, here we go, here we go." And there's like multiple people, creators that have gone live, and they're saying, "Was he gonna do it again? Are you
It's
serious? Grow up."
I would really wouldn't Dago, wouldn't you really like to just sit down and have a conversation with this man?
Him 100%. I absolutely said that a long time ago.
Like, I would like to just know like what his demeanor is, what his mannerisms are, like that. Like, and then
Well,
just like he's he has not like been like he's shown zero, absolutely like I don't know how he's keeping his composure. Like he
well,
seems like a cool, calm, and collected guy.
maybe it's because of the confidence he has in the fact that he knows he's innocent, JC. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I've asked myself, and watching him be
I
so
just feel if he is innocent, I just feel, which I think he is. I can't even tell you how terrible I feel for him, and I don't know how he's doing it. Like I probably would have unalived myself at this point.
No, I understand.
You know, and
I
that's why. And even Willie actually knows the guy.
yeah,
And he said that there are millions of people that he would put ahead of doing this besides Brian Koberger.
absolutely. I agree with the same thing.
So it's interesting to talk to Willie about him because he actually knows him personally.
Right, right.
I would just like to have a conversation with him and be like, what do you think of all this? Like, what is going through your mind?
Well, here's the thing with what he has learned about law enforcement through educational thing, maybe it's somewhat interesting to him. Seeing how this is all
Maybe.
playing out, you know what I mean? I doubt it. I
I would
doubt it.
also like to have a conversation with Ann Taylor.
Oh, don't get me started there. She's my favorite. I'll tell you. My mods will tell you. I have a little thing for Ann. I love Ann to death. I think she's awesome.
And I would also like to know what's going on, conversations with Brett and Bill and everybody. Like,
have a good night, Alicia. Take care. Thank you. I
because you're
agree.
going to get very different reactions from different people.
Just wait till after the trial when they do interview. They'll talk to probably mostly all of them, in my opinion, depending on what it is. Okay, so here's another picture of him. I can't find my black hoodie picture now, but anyway, that's the other picture of him. That dude's not anywhere near as clear as he is in those two other pictures. Thank you, Tomboy.
Do we
He's
know
not.
what his ancestry is?
I'm gonna guess German based on like the last
That's
name and the nose and kind of his facial structure. That's kind of my feelings.
okay. And are they like lighter skinned people, like white Germans? Are they lighter skinned people?
I mean, I've seen
Because I know some white people, I don't know what nationality, I don't know what ethnicity or whatever they are, but they're white, but they're very, like, some people are just naturally very white.
right. I've seen, like I said, a lot of people, even people. I'm Italian, and I know people that are Italian, full blown Italian, that are super like clear, truly. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it depends on your genes. There it is. It's hard to see because it's such a shitty photo, but
That is a crappy photo.
yeah, and he's not even really that white there, but
Look
they
at the
made him
shadows and stuff on that.
right. They made him look so ominous on purpose. Once again,
Ew.
to keep going on that propaganda train. This is so sad the way they've done this. So
There's a
sad.
lot of shadows on that.
Of course. And they got him cocked to the side where he's taking his picture. It's a hoodie. The nose looks so much bigger now. I mean, he just looks ominous. And that was the whole point.
But they're going to leave it up to the jury whether or not he has bushy eyebrows.
Right. Yeah. Based on the other photo. Cat Lady, welcome. Good to see you, dear. Yvonne said he's German on his dad's side and Italian on his mom's. That's right. He is Italian too. So there you go. That could explain the nose too, because I know a couple of my uncles and cousins have some honkers. They truly do. My family's Sicilian, so we're more like we start off with a lot of us are blonde. I started off as a towhead, blue-eyed, blonde. My eyes are greenish colored. It just depends where you're at. We're in the regions and stuff, so heavy brow and sunken eyes, yeah, and the shadowing to it, and then you can tell they did some work to this. So
yeah.
one eyebrow, right, WB? It's just crazy to me. The whole thing is absolutely insane. It doesn't make any sense, and I would have never in my life imagined as an adult. Somebody told me this was going on, I'd be like, okay, what movie are you watching? What movie did you find that on? I'm gonna go watch it because it don't sound real. Well, see, what's up, Uncle? Good to see the other picture with the white shirt. He looks like a damn vampire in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
then
was
you
gonna
hear
say
other.
it could be the coloring of what he's wearing too
Well, it's
in the
partly that.
background, but he looks washed out.
Yeah, that's what they do, and then they'll turn the hues down and contrast in a different way. And guess what you got here? Vampire Brian. Okay, and then you got creators saying idiotic shit like, "Look, if you look close, you can see the blood in his hair." Are you kidding me?
What?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of something to say, and every time something comes out, I have no. I just like I go blank. None of it makes sense whatsoever. And we all do know that tomorrow there will be another. Just like today. This.
Yeah, and then go ahead and buy the book. That's more bullshit.
I did.
And you can read the book that Scott Green wrote. More bullshit. It's all stupidity and ignorance. Now
I
here's
got
the
it on
thing.
I got it on Audible, and
It was sent to me, I believe, via email.
I got it on Audible and I did listen to it. I just don't know how much I mean, I should actually listen to it again and see how different I think, because I think I thought a little bit differently before.
Mm-hmm.
Because it came out pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
there's been more stuff dropped
Please
since.
explain to me why they would put a book out before the trial.
That's my question. Should that even be legal?
You know, because the expectations of it, guys, because they expect him to be burned,
I'm
convicted,
sorry, but
hung. That's the expectation for it.
if you're not
It's all the
watching YouTube
propaganda, isn't it?
and doing, if you're not paying attention or you're not, but there's a book out. I mean, when are they having the movie out? I'm sure it's going to be before.
Which one? The movie or the made for TV movie? Which one do you want?
Probably both. I mean, why don't we just do a whole series, docuseries?
I'm sure it's probably coming. It's already partially out.
You think they might be able to wait? I mean, they haven't had much patience, but maybe,
Well,
just maybe not tell the entire universe that's living under the rock. Let's let them stay there until they can possibly give them a good trial, a fair trial.
Hopefully he gets a real trial, a fair trial. We'll see. Anna TV, welcome. Good to see you.
Did Mr. Hipster, did he ever rule on if he's going to let Cy's statement in?
I don't think so. Not yet. I haven't seen that yet.
That's a good question.
Because that right there is also going to, well, if he lets it in or not is going to be very telling. And then if it does come in, what the jury says about it or thinks about it should be, I think it's more than enough evidence it's enough digital evidence to prove
If they have,
he's not the one. But
oh yeah. When all of that gets processed and they finally show all that, in my opinion, the only thing they need is a testimony from Cy and for him to show proof, and that's all it would take, in my opinion. That's it. If that's allowed, though, that's the problem. If that's allowed,
he's Batman. Now we know how he got there. He flew.
or he parachuted into the balcony. Yeah, that was great. The stupidity is real.
I also heard once that he climbed up the ladder or something.
Yep.
The ladder story.
He's a demon. He floats.
Yeah, he came up out of the damn ground because he's the devil. I mean, it's absolutely
it's
insane.
just crazy to me how you can literally think one way in the beginning of something because of what you're told.
Yep.
and come to the conclusions, and you can do all the research, listen to all the people, and still have your opinion. And then
Mhm.
when other stuff starts coming out about it, that, you know, this might not have been true, that might not have been true, that really makes you question things.
Mhm. Mm.
And some people, I don't understand how some people, knowing what we know now, still don't ask the questions.
Because they don't want to. It's easier to just say, okay, you know how many people, and it makes me so mad. You don't know how many people out there that
This is
just
someone, we've already lost 4 people. This is somebody else's life.
Mhm.
What do we need to lose another one
No,
unjustly?
they don't seem to care. But
They
like I said,
don't.
you don't know how many people that, oh shit, I lost what I was gonna say now. Damn it. Oh, how many people out there just go along with the fact that because the police arrested him, that's all that they need. That's it. How is that like okay, because they arrested him and they said he did it. We're done. Let's go. You've
Well,
got to be kidding me.
didn't they use zip ties on his family while they
I
were?
I don't know for sure,
That's
Terry.
what I
Probably.
heard. So I just wondered if they were playing a drinking game while they were checking.
No,
things.
it's probably because they don't carry that many cuffs when they
That
go
was
in
a
like
joke.
that. No, I get it. I get it.
Remember when Hunter came out with all those zip ties
Yes.
on?
Yes. Oh, I know. And that was another thing that really bothers me too is the way that none of that needed to happen. That was all for show, in my opinion. The way that they arrested him and kicked in his doors and windows and busted in on him in the middle of the night and all that. That was a big production when they could have just went to him when he was still in Washington and said, "Hey, can you come down here, talk to us?"
Well, let's go back to the zip ties part. Why did we saw Dylan standing right there? We saw her walk into the door. We saw the flowered dress standing right there. And yet they went to get Kaylee. Why?
I have
That
no
way.
idea. Probably because she
I'm
had been
just
there.
going back over stuff that I know that we all know about and have all talked about 100,000 times. But you know what? At this point, who cares? Because you know what? Tomorrow's going to be another thing, just like this black thing today. I mean, they're going to do whatever they have to do to taint the jury pool.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the way it's going to be through all the way till the end.
I mean, they don't care about us because we're us. We talk amongst each other. We're
Are
not
they
going to be on the jury pool.
Right. Good night, Tomboy.
are they like how do they when do they start like sending out the jury letters saying, "Hey, you might be summoned to court to jury duty"?
That I don't know.
Well, let's see. They're picking Diddy's jury this week, right?
I
So
believe
I would
that.
say probably. I don't know. I mean,
How long ago did the whole people get their like notice in the mail?
I have no I
I
have no
wonder.
I don't know. That's a good question, but yeah, there you go.
But I don't think at this point that it's the change of venue is really going to matter. Because the more you taint people, you know what I mean?
What time does the clock say back there?
Like 1:00.
Are you sure, or does it say 11?
It's 11. It's 11:24 my time.
No.
No,
He's talking about the
clock
clock
behind him.
picture. I think it's 5-1, Terry.
Oh, you're talking about the picture.
That clock back there behind him. Yeah, I think it's 5-1. I don't know if it's in the morning or in the afternoon.
Well, this is supposed to be the night that it happened.
This was the night before, the 28th.
Oh, the 28th?
Yeah.
Okay, so that gives you a good idea when he goes jogging, right?
Right, and that's probably why he's wearing that.
Right.
That's the only reason why.
Right.
That looks to me like something that it's a zip down, blah blah blah. Yeah, 100%.
It's like that's something he would jog in.
Yep, and he did it a lot.
Okay. So that should tell you that that's about the same time he goes jogging, right?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Oh wow. Okay, guys, I just seen that. So Any other
Yeah,
statements, questions?
I'm gonna jump down. I'm going to bed. But
Yeah. You have anything
as
else to
always,
add, Terry?
wonderful.
What'd you say, Terry?
I
After
said,
that,
as always, it was wonderful.
thank you for joining me. Any last thoughts or questions or feelings or anything other than?
No, I can hardly wait. I can't wait to wake up in the morning and see what new is out.
Hey,
Oh,
Summer.
I
Good.
am curious to watch that. What is it? Night. What show did a show?
Dateline.
Yeah, was that tonight?
Dateline.
Yeah, it was an hour, 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Well, it was supposed to be 2 hours, so I'll be checking that out after I leave here.
Okay, cool.
I probably will too.
Yeah. Any other questions or statements?
I don't think
Casey?
so.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
go get some food.
about at that point now. Guys.
Yeah,
Haven't
go
eaten all
eat
day.
something, baby.
I haven't eaten all day. I've been sleeping.
Good conversation, and like I said,
Thank you for having me, Dago.
Yes, thank you.
always appreciate you guys and anybody else.
All right.
So thank you
Good night,
guys.
guys.
Have a good night,
Love
guys.
y'all. Bye.
Good night.
And everybody in the chat, guys, you're amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We started a little bit later tonight, but that's okay. If people are going to think that Brian did this because he had a black hoodie on, that's stupid. It sure is. I believe in the evidence against him, not in his choice of clothing. Just seems trivial. Well, that's the problem, is there really is no evidence against him. That's the biggest issue I have with this. And I promise you guys that I don't argue this nor talk about this because I want to. Believe me, it'd be so much easier if it was cut and clean, black and white, the right way. It was done so we didn't have to have these conversations. We can spend our time on something completely different, you know? I don't do this because I enjoy doing this. I want to see truth. And it bothers me that I'm not. And I want to see justice for the victims. And it bothers me that I don't feel like we're going to. And that's why we have these conversations. And that's why we argue these things. And that's why we freak out about these things, because it's not good. This is America, for Christ's sakes, folks. It's not supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Not guilty until you can pray to God they prove you innocent. That doesn't say that in the Constitution, but that's what the hell this has been. And like I said before, if there is some kind of evidence, if they have something that says that Brian did this, then I'll be right there to help you to do this. I promise you. I want to see it first, and I don't think that we're going to. And that's true too, Tinsel. Yes, you're right. I do love you guys to death. That's a fact. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I've never seen anything like this before in my life, you guys. I haven't. Unbelievable. But thank you guys for joining me tonight. I will be back here tomorrow for the morning show, of course, and maybe even tomorrow night. Oh, I know I will be here tomorrow night, because tomorrow night I have to cover this swamp monster stuff. So if you're into that stuff, tune in for that. So I will be here tomorrow for the morning show, though. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I hope you guys have had a enjoyable time here. As always, you guys are amazing. And I couldn't do this, and I never should even try to do this without you guys. Thank you to the Blue Crew. Same goes to you. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other, folks. Don't change a thing. You guys are the beautiful people. Much love to all of you. Good night. God bless, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye, folks.
Typing at the speed of light, hunting down the shadows, bringing wrongs to right, digging deep in the data, facts sharp as a knife. With every single story, he's fighting for a life. A voice for the voiceless, he won't stay quiet. Dago's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelations shining through the night. With every victim story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. a world gone wrong. He guides us through the chaos, a soldier so strong. The clicks and the lights, they follow his lead. With every new case, he plants a new seed. Sharing their stories, giving hope where it fades. Dago's a warrior through the trials he waits. In a world of silence, he shouts out their names. Dago's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. From the shadows you rise, a streaming loud and clear. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. From the shadows and moments, he won't let us fall. Bringing the truth out, answering the call. For every soul forgotten, he's here to stand tall. Dago the genuine, he'll always give it his all. Dago's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim story, he